Didn't want him to be lonely. Didn't want him to be lonely. There we are. Okay, something about like that. Now then, let me wash the old brush out here. We just wash this brush also with odorless thinner and then wipe it on a paper towel to clean it. That's all there is to it. I'm gonna take some white, some phthalo blue, mix it together. Make a nice, put a little more white right there. Yeah, something like that. Now, I'm gonna take the fan brush and dip it into the liquid clear. Dipped it right in the clear. So this is quite a thin paint now. But the big thing is the clear will make it react different on the canvas. It'll look different. Let's go up in here. Let's come right along in here and put some nice, look at that. See, let it bend downward. Put some beautiful little snow-covered branches out here on this tree. Darker, darker, darker toward the base, as always. As always. Now, back in the background, a little more of the clear. I don't want this tree in the background to be as bright. I don't want you to notice it as much. Just want you to know it's there. So I'm using a darker color and much less. Now you know he's back there and you can see him, but hopefully he didn't stand out and grab all the attention, because they'll do that. But the liquid clear is fantastic when you want to really highlight something where you make an effect like that. It works extremely well. Okay, take off any excess paint because we're going to go right in there. We'll just use this old 2-inch brush. What the heck? Let's go into titanium white. And we'll load quite a bit, just like we were loading it to a chisel edge. Just like we was loading it to a chisel edge. Let's go up in here. Got to make a big decision. Where does the snow lay? I think right into this tree. Pull right across. Just like that. Just like that. And because a little bit of clear is on there, that'll slide just like glass. If this was dry canvas, you'd have a hard time making that paint slide on there. It wouldn't be smooth like this. That's so smooth. There. And look how it stands out against that dark color. Shoot. I gotta play a little bit more. I'm gonna take a little bit of brown, a little white in it, reach over here, get some paint thinner. I'll make it real thin. So I have just brown, and a little white with paint thinner. Then I'll make another little pile here that's just basically white with at least a little bit of, excuse me, let me get a little touch of the paint thinner in that too. I want both of these colors to be very, very thin. There. Now then, we'll take our liner brush and we'll go through this color first. Load it full. Then I'll go through this one and just get color on one side. Maybe there's a nice tree that lives here, and we can do both sides of the tree at one time. We got the light side and the dark side at one stroke. Put a few little limbs on him, not many. Not many. Something maybe like that. Load it again. Maybe we got another little tree. Lives right there. That's his friend. That's his friend. We'll put a few little arms on him. There. All right. Just a little tree that's sitting back like that. I think today, let's do a little cabin right in there. That's such a lovely place. Right there at that tree. One of the easiest ways I found. Take your knife, scrape off a basic shape. Ooh, right over my tree. That's all right. We know how to make him. Maybe he's got a little porch in the back. Maybe it's not even a cabin. Maybe it's an old barn or something. I don't know. Whatever you want it to be. You make a decision. There we go. Just scraping out the excess. Take our brown color, and we just sort of fill that in. We're just blocking in color. Just blocking in color. We're not too concerned about anything at this point. Okay, we'll take some white, some of that same brown color, maybe even at least a little touch of crimson into it, just to warm it up a little. Cut across, get our little roll of paint. Very lightly, barely touching. See, we make the front of the cabin that easy. Take a little bit of dark brown, and that. Make the indication of a lot of little boards in there just by touching. Just by touching. Let's put a door right there. Got a little door for his house. Now, a little bit more of the dark. Over on this side, just a hint. Just a hint. Not much. It's much, much too dark over here. Over on this side, there's very little light. Now, I want to take pure titanium white, and I want it to bounce along here. I want this to look rough, ragged. If you want it to look smoother, make it in a single stroke. I want it to look like it's just really Snow's just really piled up there in that old roof. Maybe there's even some holes in the roof. Maybe the old house is just deserted. What the heck? Something about like that. Take the small knife. I'm just going to put the indication of a couple little windows right over on that side. A little white with some gray on it. I mean, a little brush with some gray on it. A little outline indication of a couple of windows. Like that. Now, back to our old brush that has the white on it. Got to put some snow right around this little cabin here. There we go. Nobody's home here. There. Something maybe like that. And here and there we can touch the least little amount of that blue to create a little cool shadow effect in the snow. There. Just a little phthalo blue here and there. Alright. See the big old brush? It doesn't take but a second. You can just drop these rascals in no time. There. Maybe in our world, I'll take some of that brown paint thinner. Maybe there's what remains of a little fence out here. There. A few little rails on it. Like so. A little bit of liquid white. Put the indication of a little snow right up on top of those. And there's a little on the top of the fence. Little snow's just laying up there resting. Take a knife easy. Take our knife with a little bit of that white. Put a little snow right around his foots here. There. Just a little. There, maybe it's piled up right in there. Okay. Shoot, we've done pretty good there. Tell you what. Let's put a big tree on the other side. You know me. You know me. I always like him big old trees, and he lives in our world. Right there. That's your bravery test. Right there. Right there. Just drop him in. We'll put some bushes and some weeds and all that stuff around his little foots. I'll just use the top corner of the old 2-inch brush. And just tap in a few little things. Maybe right on out like that. I don't know. There. Just tap them in. Might even have maybe there's a baby tree lives there too. Little baby tree. Right in there. See, just when you're doing these things, just sort of look at them. Make up your mind. Drop them in. Maybe there's some little sticks and twigs and good things like that. Wherever. As I mentioned, this is the last show of the 24th series. I really hope you've enjoyed this series. And I also mentioned in one of the earlier series we're thinking about putting together a series because so many people have wrote and said, I haven't got to see all the shows and there's over 300 shows, how can I see them, etc., etc. We're putting together a series now we're going to call the Best of Joy of Painting. And I went through and picked out my favorite paintings from the last couple of hundred shows. And we're going to put those together at random and create a whole new series called the Best of the Joy of Painting. So you can see the painting series from the time it started till today. If you'd like to see that, give your station a call. Tell them you're interested in it. I'm going to take a little brown and white, just barely touch this. Give it a little sideward pull. There. You know, and as we get close to the end of this old series, there's so many people I'd love to thank for making all this possible. And there isn't time to thank everybody. But there's so many special people, and I'd like to mention just a couple. My partners, Walt and Annette Kowalski. You know, Annette writes all of our books and puts them together. She's a fantastic artist in her own right. And my wife, Jane. A super, super lady that has believed in me for the last 24 series, and she's helped make all this possible. Jane, thank you very much for all you've done. I'm going to take some brown, some paint thinner, mix it together in a liner brush. Let's go up here and put some limbs on here. And the people here at the station, here at WIPB in good old Muncie, Indiana, they're one of the finest group of people I have ever known. I talk about the mean old director, but she's not really all that mean. Well, maybe she is. But very nice lady, and she's made all this possible. Her talents are in every show. And there's a couple of people here that have been here since the very beginning. Richard Collins, Jerry Morton, they've been with us. And I'd like to publicly thank all of you for a fantastic, fantastic job. And maybe most important, they've become my friends. There, just put all kinds of little limbs here. There we go. And I wish there was time to tell everybody thank you personally. But there's not. But you know who you are, and you know that I care. There. you what, let's get crazy here. Find my brush. Go right up in here and put a little snow right underneath that. Choom. And it doesn't matter if it picks up a little of that. It makes it look like little shadows. And maybe there's even a little remaining part of a fence right there that was there one day. Still a couple old things across there. Put a little highlight on him. Just a touch like so. And with that, a little snow under him, I think we have a finished painting and a finished series. And from all of us here, I'd love to wish you happy painting. I look forward to seeing you again. Take care, my friend, and God bless. Hi, I'm glad to see you again. Thought today we'd just do a fantastic little winter scene, and I'll show you how you can do a very, very nice little scene quite easily. So let's have them run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with me. While they're doing that, let's go on up here. We have our standard old canvas up. It's all prepared with a liquid white. It's all slick and wet and ready to go. So let's go too. I think today I'll start out with a small touch of alizarin crimson. Just pull a little bit out, tap the bristles firmly right there. And that assures a nice even distribution of color all the way through the bristles. Good, let's go on up here. Now sometimes when you do winter scenes, they can get so cold that they're almost unpleasant. So I like to put a little tiny warm spot in my winter scenes. And it's just a matter of personal preference. If you want it to look colder, just leave out this little touch of crimson, because this is your painting. You do it the way you want it. If you want it to be very cold, just leave out this one little bit right here, and that'll do it. Okay, a little touch more, right in there. Now we don't want to set this sky on fire. All we want to do is just put a nice pinkish glow in the sky. Something like so. Tell you what, without even cleaning the brush, I'm gonna go right into a small amount of the phthalo blue. Now the blue is so much stronger than the crimson, you don't even have to clean your brush. You just go right in there and just tap it, same way. Okay, now then, let's come right up in here and just dance in a happy little sky, just using little crisscross strokes. Like so, like so. There we go. And bring it right down to the crimson. Once again, the blue is so much stronger, it'll absolutely eat your crimson up and kill it. There, very lightly. Okay, we're gonna have a little winter scene today. So let's just go ahead and put some blue down here. This will end up being shadows in our snow or water or whatever. I don't know. We'll sort of make that decision when we get there. There we go. Just drop it in. Okay, it's also a good way to clean off the excess paint off your brush. Shoot, while we're doing that, here and there we'll drop a little crimson in too. Just a little. Okay, let's wash your brush. Scrub the old brush. Shake off the excess. And then just splatter everybody. All right, with a good clean dry brush, I want to go right back up here where this pink and blue come together. And very gently, very lightly, just using the little crisscross or X strokes, I just want to blend it. So it's very smooth, so you can't tell where one color stops and the next color starts. Just blend it, blend it, blend it. There. Start in the light area and work toward the dark area. Okay. And that gives us a nice, quick little sky. Alrighty. Let's do a fantastic mountain today. I'm going to start with some midnight black. We'll take some Prussian blue. Oh, a little Van Dyke brown in there. What the heck? A little crimson, whatever. Looking for dark color. Should look black. Okay, pull the paint out as flat as you can get it, and then just take the knife and cut across. Get that little roll of paint right out on the edge of the knife. Okay, let's go right up in here. Maybe we'll have a big mountain that lives way up here in the sky. Boy, that's a big son of a gun. But this will give you some practice making mountains. And if you can make mountains, you've certainly made friends with a knife. If you can make these mountains, then you can take the same effects that you learn making these and create just unbelievable things. Rocks, stones, roads, houses, entire paintings can be done with a knife once you make friends with it. So this is excellent practice. There. And I lived in Alaska for a dozen years or so, and I'm sort of crazy about mountains. They're a lot of fun to paint. Okay, after you have your basic outline on here, take your knife and firmly, get tough with it, scrape off all the excess paint. You can't get it all off. The value is in the fabric. Scrape off all that you can get off, though. And the more of that paint you get off, the easier the next step is. Okay, now then, we want to just, this removes even more paint and blends it out. And because the canvas is wet, the paint will move on here. Just grab it and pull firmly. You're still trying to remove excess paint. There we go. Firmly pull it, and then just blend it. Just blend it. See, you can soften points and peaks. There. Okay, that gives us a very nice little base to do a fantastic mountain. Okay, I'll wash the old brush again. Shoot, that's the most fun of this whole technique. It's just washing the brush. You can take out all your hostilities and frustrations and anger, and you can get all those bad feelings out just beating the brush. Okay, I'm going to just take titanium white, and once again, pull it out as flat as you can get it. Just really get
Secret is making me laugh so much. You can't hear it, but
always living in the same way. Let's go right up here.
I had to turn on the mic for half a second because it was so funny.
Touch. And
It's funny because it reminds me of the time.
no pressure. No pressure.
I'm not even kidding. It reminds me of a time when I was in high school, and I needed I needed
too strong with it.
crap. I needed a date for prom, right? So I had a friend that was in my class, and I said, "Do you have a prom date?" And he was like, "No." And then I was like, And he was like, "Do you have a prom date?" And I was like, "No." And then I looked at him for a second, and I said, "You're going to be my prom date." And he was like, "Okay." And I was like, "Oh, that worked." And I was like, he could have said no. I didn't strong arm him. I just said you were going to be my prom date. And then that's how I got my prom date. Because I was talked into going to prom.
That's sort of a good
He did consent, yes. We had a good time, though. We just weren't interested in each other. But we had a good time at prom. So, anyway, I'm about to turn off the mic. If Secret continues to make me laugh, I might turn it back on. That's up to Secret. You're going to be my prom date. Shoujo, who may or may not... God, that's not true, bro. I did not have a gun. It was school. I would have been arrested.
Except when you run out of paint. Maybe this one here comes right.
Bruh.
Wherever you want it. It's just straight titanium white. Now you could add a little color to it if you wanted to. It's up to you. Okay, now I'm gonna take white. Let's use a little Prussian blue in it. White little Prussian blue.
Bruh, they first of all, they frown upon that.
Extremely.
They frown upon that hard, so yeah.
Okay.
It's not gonna work.
Cut off our little roll of paint.
Anyway,
Just like
I'm gonna turn it off.
go back up in here and begin
I'm trying to
making great
focus.
decisions. Is this pink behind that one? If it is, do this one first. Touch it. Just give it a little pull. Okay, the next one. Let it just gently flow. No pressure, no pressure. Right over it. And see? That easy. It pushes that one back. Pushes that one back. Tremendous power you have. No pressure. We just bring these together right here. Just sort of let them flow together. Okay. Right in here we'll have some shadow. Basically, for every highlight, you need a shadow. There we go. Just drop them in. Drop them in. Okay, maybe right in here there's another one, wherever. And you can just sort of work back and forth with your color here. Now you can firm up those edges. Maybe this one comes out here. Sort of comes around. There it is. You can do unbelievable things. Now behind this one, once again, a little shadow. A little shadow. It's right out here. Maybe the shadow comes. There it is. There it comes. But just, it's unreal. I've painted a million mountains, and every time I paint another one, I get excited about it because it's just unbelievable. Watch right here. Maybe there it is. There it is, a peak. It lives in there. Just put him in. See, it doesn't look like too much right now. But watch what happens when you give him his own private little shadow. See, once you give him a shadow, then he becomes an individual. Just pops right out there. Just bring him right on around, like so. Isn't that fantastic? What you can do, and you can. You can, maybe, watch here. See, we just play some games today with mountain peaks. Anywhere you want to show a little peak, just put in a little highlight, then come back and drop in a little shadow. See, as many or as few as you want in your mountain. So if I don't watch out here, I'm going to cover up this whole canvas with just layer to layer of mountain, which is all right. It's a super way to learn. Anytime that you learn, you're not losing. Because if there's a secret to this style of painting, or any style of painting, it's practice, that's all. Just practice. And I'm just tapping the base here to create the illusion of mist. But follow the angles. Follow those angles. It's most important. Most important. Like so. There we go. Left upward. See, you can make it so soft, and here you can just sort of bring it together. Try to keep my arm out of your way. There. Just bring it together, soften it all out. Well, you got one side of a gun of a mountain there. And then, we got us a mountain. Let's begin working forward in our scene and see what we can make. We can use that same old mountain color. Let's see what we got here. Into that, let me add some white. Some white. See what we got. Maybe a little more white. There. Looking for a blue-gray color. Like so. Yeah, that's a pretty nice color. Okay, let me clean the knife off. And, yeah, we'll use the old fan brush. Let's just go right through here with a fan brush. Load both sides of it. Just like so. Just like so. Okay? Now maybe back in here lives all kinds of little trees. All I'm doing is tapping downward. Just tap downward with a fan brush. See there? It makes the indication of distant little trees. Just an indication. We're not looking for a lot of detail because it's too far away. When we get into the foreground, then we'll begin worrying about detail. But back here, all you see are basic shapes. Just basic shapes, and maybe right on, wherever. This is the easiest way I've ever seen of making a lot of little trees very quickly. Very quickly. You can paint a whole forest. And maybe a few of them here and there. Maybe you can make out a little detail on them. Just like so. See, maybe there's another one here, wherever you want them. Wherever. Maybe even in here. There's another one. Just drop him in. Maybe this one here. So you can make these son of a guns just grow right before your eyes. There. And we just drop in a little color down here at the base. Same color. Same color. Take our 2-inch brush. Maybe we'll have some water. So all we do is pull straight down. Just grab that color. Pull it straight down. And it creates an instant reflection. Instant reflections. Okay, go across. Now then, take another fan brush, and with just a little bit of white on it, I'm just going to touch here and pull up. Makes sort of an indication like his little trunks way back hidden there. Touch it, just pull it straight up. See? Just touch it and pull it up. If you get a little too much, just keep working it, and the color will eat up that white, and it'll go away. Just go right away. Maybe right there. There we go. Wash off the old brush. And grab the knife, touch a little bit of the liquid white, pull it out very flat, just as flat as you can get it, and sort of cut across. Let's go up in here and just begin cutting in a little water line. There. There you go. See there? All kinds of little things happening there. As many or as few as you want. It's up to you. Up to you. Okay. Tell you what, let's do. Grab the old fan brush again. I think it's time to have some fun. I think we'll have some fun. Let me clean off a spot here. Got too many things going on in this one palette. That's one thing I already mentioned. I have people write and say they went out and got a palette, and it's not like mine. It's real clear. My palette normally is crystal clear, but for television, they make me take sandpaper and sand it so it's not shiny. If it was shiny, all the lights would reflect off of it and you would get big flares on your television. But it's just like your palette. Even the furrows on the brush are taped so they don't shine. I'm just mixing up all the dark colors here. Okay. Tell you what, let's use the old 1-inch brush today. You could do it with a fan brush or the 2-inch brush. Let's do the 1-inch. I'll make some happy little evergreen trees. Pull the brush through the paint and wiggle it as you pull it. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. and then sharpen it. And that'll bring that brush to a super sharp chisel edge. Look at there. Sharp. And it takes a lot of paint. If you don't have a lot of paint on the bristles, they're not going to stick together. That's the only thing that holds these bristles together is a lot of paint. Maybe right there. See how sharp it is, though? You can literally make a line with it. Let's take the corner of the brush, and let's just make us a happy little evergreen tree that lives right there. Tap downward using the corner of the brush. As you work down the tree, you use more and more pressure, so you're using a larger portion of the brush. But you start with one corner, and you use that same corner all the way through the tree. Just sort of work back and forth, back and forth. Okay, tell you what, maybe, yep, you're right. You knew there was a tree there. There he is. And just let him grow right out of the brush. They live in there. You have to sort of scare them out sometime. But they're there. Tell you, maybe, let's have a whole forest today. Give you a lot of good practice making some nice trees. There. See, there's another one. Maybe he comes right on down wherever you want him. See, just make him rascals grow. There, a little more paint. And normally I reload the brush after each and every tree. Okay, let's go over here on the other side. Maybe, shoot, let's get crazy. Yep, maybe there's a big tree. Maybe he lives right there. He goes clean off the canvas. Boy, that is a big son of a gun. He probably picks on these little ones here. Right over your mountain. Oh, that hurts. After you spend so much time making a beautiful mountain and put a tree over it. It's no fun. Okay, there. Down, down, down. Still tapping. There. Boy, I said big tree. I wasn't kidding, was I? Now we'll come back and we'll put some highlights on these trees. All we're doing here is just painting the back of the tree. I tell you what, maybe there's 2 big trees. And in your painting, you put as many or as few trees as you want. Because we each see nature through different eyes. So paint it the way you see it. Paint it the way that makes you happy. Because painting should make you happy. It should set you free. It has no boundaries. You can go anywhere you want to go in a painting. You can do anything that you want to do. You can make any kind of world that you want. You can create your vision. And that's the joy of painting, is the fact that you can create. It gives you freedom. It gives you freedom. And we're all looking for a touch of that. There. Okay. Well, I'm turning this whole painting into a forest. That's all right, though. At least we're getting some good practice making trees. There's another one. He lives right there. See, after you finish this painting, you won't ever again have problems making evergreen trees. There we go. Now, normally when I'm doing winter scenes, I don't use any green in my evergreen trees. Mainly because if you're having snow below those trees, if you ever pull a little bit of the green into your snow, it doesn't look right. Green snow is that's worse than yellow snow. So I normally just use these dark colors with a blue base, and then you can intentionally, I'll show you, we'll put some snow in this, shoot, why not? Let me grab the old fan brush here, let's do one with a fan brush so you can see how. Maybe there's one that lives right here. We'll show his whole trunk just by tapping all the way down. There's this little, or maybe this tree. Maybe he's not doing too good. Maybe he's a little sick. See, he just has some little limbs living here and there, but you can see a lot of his trunk. Poor tree. There. Something like so. Now then, tell you what. Let's just go right in titanium white. Let's do some snow. We don't need all that water. I'll use the big brush here. Let's go right up here. Decide where you want your snow to start. Grab it and just pull. Be brave. Grab some of that dark color and pull it. Now you have to begin forming the land here. See, I want to grab that dark. It makes nice shadows underneath the trees. Look at there. And then just place some of this white right over the top of it. But see how easy it is to make all kinds of fantastic little snowy areas. And smooth. It's very smooth. This is virgin snow here. Nobody's walked here yet. Nice and smooth. See there? Isn't that a super nice way to make a little snowy area? Maybe somebody wants to walk down here. So let's make them a little path. I'm gonna take white, a little touch of phthalo blue. White, just on the fan brush. Something like so. Okay, now decide where do you want to walk here. Maybe there's a little path. Comes right down. Just sort of back and forth here. And let it get bigger and bigger as it gets towards you. As it comes towards you, let it get larger. Where does this go? Maybe right on over here. There. And you can make it as distinct or as soft as you want. It's your path. You do with it as you please. Take a little white here. Watch it. Maybe I want to bring out a little projection right there. Bring it right into the path. Like so. Okay, tell you what. I'm gonna get a 1-inch brush here. I'm gonna dip it right into a little touch of the liquid white and go right into titanium white. Pull it in one direction. Load a lot of paint into it. Let's go right up here. Maybe there's some little snow-covered bushes that live right up against these trees. Just touch it, give the brush a little upward push. But you need it against that dark so it shows up. If you put it against just white snow, you're not going to get anything. Okay, maybe there's another one right there. Little frosty bushes. See how easy those are to make? And they're beautiful little sunburns. Should look like lace. Look just like lace. We don't want this side to be left out. Let's put one or two over here. There's one, lives right out there. You know, this is the last show of the 12th series. It's always sort of sad to come to the last show. I'm going to miss you for a few days. But we have another series already under production. We've already started on another one. So if you'll have us back, I'll be back. As I mentioned earlier, there's now over 150 Joy painting shows. And if you hadn't got to see them all, give your local station a call. Tell them you'd like to see them. And they're available to them. And I'd like to thank you for once again allowing me into your home. I've had so many super friends I've made. And I appreciate it. I really and truly appreciate it. A little phthalo blue and white on the fan brush. I just want to come along in here and there, put the indication of a little highlight on these. Just here and there, not too much. Don't want to lose the contrast, like so. Okay, and with that, I think this painting is finished. Once again, thank you for allowing me to be into your home. And until next time, keep the old brush working. Happy painting, and God bless. Well, hello. Welcome to the third Joy of Painting series. I'm Bob Ross, and I'll be your host for the next 13 weeks as we experience this fantastic wet-on-wet painting technique. In the next few weeks, we'll show you how to make fantastic pictures here using only 12 colors, an almighty brush, and a great big palette knife. So, I've already covered the canvas with a thin layer of magic white, and then we just blend it out with long horizontal and vertical strokes, like so. This just assures a nice even distribution of magic white all the way across the canvas. So while I'm washing the brush here, I'm going to get them to graphically run the 12 colors that I use across the screen. These colors will come across your screen in the same order that I have them on the palette, starting with titanium white and working around. So let me clean the brush and we'll get started here. We clean our brushes with odorless paint thinner. There we go. And just beat the bristles dry. Today let's start out with a tiny little bit of Indian yellow. And we'll go right in here and just lay on a little bit of color. Just like so. And I'm gonna go right into some alizarin crimson and pull a little bit of paint out and beat it into your bristles so it's nice and even. We'll put just a tiny bit of alizarin crimson here. And we do this making little crisscross strokes or X strokes, just back and forth. There we go. And just let it blend right down into the yellow. Okay, now up here on the top, let's go into a tiny bit of Prussian blue. Now Prussian blue is very, very strong. Be careful with it. And right across the very top, still making the little crisscross strokes, we'll just lay in a little bit of Prussian blue. And while we have the brush dirty, let's take a little bit of blue and add us a little tiny bit of water right here. And you pull from the outside in. and leave this area open. We want it to show when we're finished. There we go. And continually, your color is mixing with the magic white, and it blends. It makes very soft, nice, gentle colors. Okay. Now, let's take a clean, dry brush and just blend all this together. Still making the little crisscross strokes. And then we'll hypnotize it gently. Down here, all the way across. The yellow will still remain on the canvas. And if it happens to touch the blue, it'll just turn green, which is very nice for water, so we can get away with it today. Okay. Let's start out with a little bit of Van Dyke brown. We'll take a small amount of brown, and we'll go right up in here, and let's put in an almighty mountain. There. Just let this mountain flow right off your knife. And we're really pushing this paint into the canvas. We want to push it right into the fabric if possible. Maybe another little bump right there. Okay. Now with a large brush, we can very gently pull this down a little bit. This removes excess paint and allows your mountain to get lighter on the bottom. Just pull it down. All we're worried about is a nice outside edge. We could care less what's happening inside right now. So let's take a little bit of Van Dyke brown and burnt umber mixed together. Just mix it right here on the palette. And we just touch and follow the angles in the mountain. We'll do a nice brown mountain today. There. Just let the paint flow right off your knife. Right over here, maybe a little light strikes. Then we can take a little bit of white and begin adding to it to really put some nice little highlights on this mountain. There we go. And this is your world, so let your imagination take you wherever you want to go. Burnt umber and Van Dyke brown just mixed together. A little bit of the highlight color. Now let's take a little bit of Van Dyke brown with a touch of alizarin crimson in it. And with that, we'll put some shadows right in here. Just a tiny bit of crimson, so when we highlight the shadow color, it'll sparkle. Very basic, quiet little mountains that are way back in the background. A little bit of highlight over here in the shadow. There. Okay. Now we can take a clean, dry brush, and all we're going to do is begin tapping this bottom at first. Just tap it, and then lift upward. I want to pick up some of the yellow that's underneath here. There we go. Just follow the angles that you have in the mountain. We'll add a tiny bit more of the yellow onto the brush here. Just want this mountain to softly, softly disappear. Always follow your angles. There. Okay, and that's super quick, nice little way to make a happy little mountain. It's way back in the distance. Okay, now let's take, first of all, clean us up a space so we have somewhere to work. Put some sap green, Prussian blue, and Van Dyke brown. Just mix all these together, make a very nice dark color. There we go. Now, let's take the fan brush and fill it full of paint. Just pull it through the paint and fill it up. A lot of paint in the bristles. And we'll use it like so. Just touch and go down. We're going to make some indication of some little evergreens that are way back in the distance, far, far away. We don't want much detail back here. They're too far away. We want to show distance. Just let them work right down like so. Maybe there's one that lives right here. Just wherever you think there should be a tree, you just drop one in. We're not looking for detail. There we go. Just let these rascals fall in. Now, one thing I should mention for the people who are joining us for the first time, the paint we use is very dry and very firm in comparison to most oil paints. You need a very firm paint, one of our golden rules here. A thin paint will stick to a thick paint. So we start with the thickest possible paint we can find. Then we can put layers of thin paint on top of it. Same color, just adding some ground down here. There we go. Just good dark color. One of the golden rules. You need dark in order to show light. So here we're just applying our dark color. And watch how easy reflections are. They used to drive me crazy when I was a traditional painter, but watch right up here. All you do is touch and pull down. Because the canvas is wet, you can make beautiful, beautiful reflections. This simple. Just touching and pulling down. There we go. And then gently go across. Makes it look just like water. And maybe, way back in the background back here, maybe there's a little waterfall back here that feeds this lake. So touch titanium white, just touch it and come straight down. And then we want it to splash a little as it hits the water down here, just a little. There we go. Now, let's take a little bit of magic white, a little cad yellow, and maybe some sap green. And And just load this fan brush full. And we can begin putting some highlights back here. Touch, push that brush so it bends upward. There. And you can make these as bright or as dull as you want them. If you want to show a lot of sunlight back here, use a lot of the yellow color. If it's a quiet, far away, maybe you want to have it much duller in color. There we go. Maybe there's a little projection that lives right out here, so we just drop it in. It's your projection, you can put it anywhere you want. Okay. Maybe there's another one over here. It just comes right out like this. Okay. Now we can take and gently pull a little bit of this down, just so you have a little of that reflection into the water. Go across. Now, let's take the knife, a little bit of magic white, pull it out very flat and cut across it so we can do a very sharp, small little line back here just to show a little water line. There. There it is. See, I told you that was easy. And this is a very, very free form of painting. We do no tracings, no drawings. We just sort of let these flow right out of our heart. Now, maybe as we get a little closer, the evergreens get a little bigger. So still using the fan brush, I'll go right there. Evergreen lives there. Corner the brush, and we just begin making a nice little evergreen. And just sort of go back and forth with your brush. Make all the little limbs and hang there. And we'll highlight this little tree, so all we're looking for here is a nice background. And maybe, there's one right here. You know, trees get lonely too, so they need friends. Just give him a little friend right there. Now we can take a little bit of sap green and just come back and highlight the tree. Now you want to place a lot of emphasis on putting the highlight on the right side of the tree, since your mountain is showing that the light's coming from the right. And if you're right-handed, you'll find that it's usually easier to highlight things on the right. If you're left-handed, it'll sort of vary from person to person. Left-handed people have been forced all their life to do right-handed things, so they will find through experimenting which way is easier for them. Okay, now maybe on this side over here, maybe we've got an almighty tree. Maybe there's a nice big evergreen that lives right there. And we just start right at the top using very little pressure. As we work down this tree, we're using more pressure and making the brush bend downward. There we go. Isn't that a super way to make a little evergreen? I used to agonize over these. So this really is the way to do it. Just back and forth, let the brush work, let the paint work. There we go. And we have a happy little tree that quick. And maybe we want to have some leaf trees, some big trees here. So let's use the big brush. Fill it up full of paint. Just load a lot of paint into it and figure out where you want a tree and go right up in here and just drop it in. Bend the bristles. Make that brush bend. Make it work for you. And just come right on. Maybe there's a little peninsula right out through here. So just drop it in. There we go. Now, while we got the dirty brush up here, let's put a few little reflections right there. Just let them fall in. Pull straight down and go gently across. When you're doing these reflections, be sure you pull them straight down. If you pull them at an angle, they just won't look right. So now let's take a 1-inch brush here. We'll put a little magic white in the brush to thin the paint and load it full of paint. Here I'm going to load it with some cad yellow. And let's go back into the sap green. Cad yellow and sap green. And a little magic white to thin it. A lot of paint in the bristles. Now, touch, push, bend the brush. You need to bend it to make all these beautiful little leaves here. Let it bend, and then sort of work in patterns so the tree has some shape to it. You just don't want a dead tree laying out here. Let's put some life in him. There, now I'm beginning to go into maybe a little yellow ochre. And we'll drop right down here, and there's another happy little bush. There they are. Sometimes you can add just a tiny bit of paint thinner to thin your paint. There, and that doesn't dilute the color. Maybe there's another little bush lives in front of that one. Layer your bushes, it gives depth to your painting. It sort of reminds me of my home in Alaska, because you have so many beautiful, beautiful mountains and water things here. So let's put a happy little cabin in here. This is just too pretty of a spot not to have a cabin, so we'll just take a little Van Dyke brown, and we'll do the back eave of the cabin first. There it is. And we'll come over here and put in the other side of the cabin. Just drop it in. In this series, we're going to try to show you quite a few buildings, how to do it. We've had so many requests. I'm really going to try to do something in this series. Okay, a little side over here. We've already got the makings of a little cabin. bugs go in this direction. Just want to show you how to do it. As I say, at home you have unlimited time and you can put a tremendous amount of detail into these paintings. Now on this side we want it to be a little darker, so here we just want a little indication showing. And if you had a cabin, you'd need a little door to get in it, so we'll put a little door right in. It's just straight brown. And it also fits the cabin. Here it is a little window right here. Here I'm using the little edge of the knife. There's a window right there. Your cabin, so you can put windows wherever you want. Now let's put some land under here. Something to hold all this up. Straight Van Dyke brown again. Nice little thing coming up here. Large brush you can touch. Just a tiny bit down to the brush. Very lightly go across. Now we'll highlight this one with brown and white just so it's there. Fantastic. Now we'll take a little bit of the dark Van Dyke brown. Let's go off here. As you can see the ends of it. Like so. Right. There we go. I think there's a little color in the roof. I think just a tiny bit of permanent red. Do some brown. Tiny little color here. A little bit over on this edge. There. Makes the roof stand out a little bit so you can see it better. Let's go back to the fan brush here. Get right into our yellow ochre, sap green, cad yellow. Just brush in some little grass areas. Keeps his yard real nice and good. Get some nice little grass areas going there. Alright. Now, back to the magic white. This is a very thin paint. It's almost like water. It's a liquid. And into that I'll put a little bit of brown, just to make it look like sand. And we'll go right up through here. And let's begin putting in maybe a little sandbar right here. There. Just let it flow off your knife. Now we can go right back into here, get some Van Dyke brown, and let's just start. Let's go all the way over here. What to do? You can do anything. Just let that dirt flow right off your knife. This is brown with a little bit of umber in it. Van Dyke brown. Van Dyke's a very nice chocolate brown, beautiful color. One of my favorite colors. Put the dirt in first. And we can come back and highlight this a little with some grassy areas. Just touch. The grass grows slightly above the ears. There. Make sure you bring all this together. Now you know, if you had a little cabin like this, you'd have to have a way to get to it. So let's have a little walkway. It starts back here and just comes around like so, right on out toward the front. A little bit of brown and white, touch of red to highlight it a little. There. There we go. And we got us a little trail so we can get back in there. Now let's take and begin laying a little tiny bit of grass here that grows down from the wall. Pushes everything back. Maybe right in here. Just like so. There we go. Now maybe when the old fella built this cabin, maybe he was having a good day and he put a little porch out here. Just put a little porch on the cabin. There. I'm using the little edge of the knife again. And we can kind of make some. There. One little post to hold the porch up. And a tiny bit of highlight right here. There we go. sort of square it up a little. A bit over here, just an indication. This side's very, very dark. You don't see as much there. Okay, let's take a 1-inch brush, and I'm going to take and put a little thinner in my brush, a tiny bit of paint thinner, so I thin the paint out a little, and go right into the Van Dyke brown, and load a lot of paint into the brush. Just really fill it up, load it full, and then we'll go over into the white and pull just one side of it through the white. So now we got brown on one side, white on the other. There we go. This is just double loading the brush so you can get a fantastic effect in one stroke. Remember to put the lighter side on the right, and maybe there's a huge tree, a big pine tree. It's right here. Just coming right straight down the canvas. Ooh, right through the cabin. Do some little foots out here. And darken it up a little if you'd like. Just come right straight down. That's the way you make an almighty tree. And add a little bit more brown on this side. I want to darken this side a little bit more. And then we can work here a little, fix this little foots up. Okay, now let's take another 1-inch brush and go right into the sap green. Get a lot of sap green in here, dark color. There to it, just to thin it down a little. A lot of paint in the bristles, a lot of paint. Okay, let's go right up here and put some nice little leaves on this great big tree. Just use the corner of the brush, and all we're doing is just tapping, just touching. Just let those leaves fall right off the brush. And by putting a large tree into the foreground like this, it helps push everything back and makes the perspective better. Makes your painting more interesting. Maybe there's a little yellow comes right there. Okay, now we can go right into a little bit of cad yellow and a touch of sap green. We'll make a highlight color to drop on this tree. Just come right here. Once again, do more emphasis on the right and the left. Just put some highlights on all those beautiful little leaves that you're painting. Okay, a little highlight right here. Like so. And if you wanted to, you could take your liner brush with a little thinner on it just to thin the paint down. And just put the indication here and there, maybe of a little limb that you can see a little bit of back in here. Just here and there. Like so. Maybe there's some nice little sticks that live out here that grow out. Some little twigs. Now, back to our fan brush. And we go back into this yellow, green, a little bit of yellow ochre. And let's work on his foots down here. Just put some grass right down here and cut the tree off wherever you want. Your tree, you're cutting manually. And maybe there's a few little sticks that hang out over the bank. Just here and there. And I'm just using the point of the knife here. Okay. I think we about have this painting ready to sign. So let's take a little bit of paint thinner, or you can use a thin oil if you'd like. A thin oil probably works a little bit better. It works a little smoother. A little paint thinner, and we're going to mix this till it's like water. Very, very loose. Then turn this point. And let's go right up in here and sign. The paint's very, very thin. It's almost like water. And with that, you can literally just write your name. R-O-S-S. That's what it is. There we go. Next week, we hope you're here with us. Have a big glass of iced tea ready. Got your canvas set up. And we're going to do a black canvas. We'll do a happy little seascape and show you how to burn the seascape is effective, a lot of fun. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you. Until next time, we'd like to wish you happy painting. God bless. Welcome back. I'm awful glad to see you today. Today let's do something that's bright and shiny. I don't have to clean the brush much. I'm sort of a lazy painter. There. But by allowing these colors to blend on the brush and on the canvas, you get a multitude of different values and colors rather than just one old flat color. Shoot. Put some excitement in your world. There we go. I'll tell you what, let's just paint it all the way down here to the waterline. This is just a little piece of masking tape I have across here, just to keep the waterline straight. There. Sometimes my hand's a little shaky, so I need all the help I can get. So we just use a little piece of masking tape, and you don't have to have it there if you don't want it. It just makes it a little easier. I'm going to gently blend all these together. Maybe I'll put a little of that color on the brush up here too, just to fill in the sky. But just blend it all together, so you can't tell where one color stops and the next color starts. There we go. And you can make this brighter or duller or whatever. Okay. Now then, let me grab another brush. I have several brushes going, so I don't have to spend all my time washing them. We'll go right into a little titanium white. Pure titanium white. And right up here, I'm going to put a little of this white. I want to make a bright spot in the sky. It won't look all that bright at this point, but it will when we get a little further along. There. Just really give a nice sparkle up here. Okay. Now maybe, I didn't realize how much I said that till a little boy one day about 10 years old began mocking me. He was walking around saying, maybe. All right, I'm gonna make up a little lavender color here using alizarin crimson and phthalo blue. Much more crimson than blue. Something like so. Let me clean off the old knife. And here's a dirty brush. We'll just use that. It has a little sky color in it. I'm just gonna tap the bristles into that. Just tap a little bit, like so. And let's go up in here and let's make some nice little clouds that just float around and have fun all day. Just sort of wind them up and put them in there, see? There. Okay. Wherever you think they should be. We'll just have it come right over here. This is going to be a big cliff, I think. A big rocky thing. Lives right there. Just drop it in. All right. There we go. And by using these little twisting or circular patterns here, it creates a multitude of little things happening up here. It's not just a flat old dead sky. A lot of nice things going on. There. Okay. Maybe we'll come right over in here. And I'm just going to put the clouds all over the sky, I guess. Okay, there we are. Maybe it comes right down. Right down. Just load a little more color. There. Maybe there's a little protrusion right out here, wherever you want them. There. I tell you what, while I'm doing this, because this is going to take just a second, I want to show you one of my little characters that's living with me now. I have 3 little baby squirrels that I'm raising, and they're the cutest little devils, and we took a little video of them. I want to share that with you while I'm doing this. And I won't do anything I don't tell you about what that's coming on there. Now these are tiny little baby ones. They're just beginning to get a little fur. And I've had them now since just after their eyes opened. And these little rascals are hungry continually, so I thought I'd show you how we feed them. And to do that, I just use a little syringe with a little nipple on the end of it. And it's just like going to the doctor and getting your shot when it's feeding time here. We fill her up. And normally though, when you see a syringe coming at you, it sort of scares you a little bit. But in this case, when my little friends here see a syringe coming at them, they get excited. This just makes their whole day. And it's hard to get them to eat, as you can see. And I think they'll eat about every 15 minutes if you'd feed them. That's I have 3 of those little rascals now, and they live with me. And my mother and I and Nancy, we all take care of these little devils, and they're gonna soon be big enough to turn loose and let them go. There. I'm just putting in a few little clouds down here while you're watching the little squirrels. Still just using the corner of the brush and just making little circular patterns, just round and around and around we go. Just sort of stir it up. Just stir it up. That's all we're trying to do at this point. But we don't want a lot of paint on the canvas. All we're looking for is a little stain. There. And sometimes you can just decide where it should be a little darker, a little lighter, or shoot, maybe there's even a little projection that comes right out through there. See? That easy, just by tapping. You can make all those little things. Okay? I'm grabbing another clean brush. This is clean, has nothing on it, it's very dry. And with that, you can just begin blending this now to any degree of softness or harshness that you want. Just blend it. Aren't those little squirrels cute? I really like those little devils. And they're so much fun. And you spend spend a little time with one of these, and it certainly makes you appreciate nature and all of God's wisdom when He created these little characters, because you get addicted to them. Especially my young friends. I have a lot of children that live around where I live, and I let them come over and help me feed the little squirrels and look at them and hold them. I think everybody should have the opportunity to make friends with a little guy like that. If you do, you'll certainly have a greater appreciation of nature and all the little things that run around that we don't pay a lot of attention to. There we go. Now then, just knocking off the excess paint, and very gently, we can just blend that. But isn't that a fantastic way of making a sky that's, ooh, sun's gonna jump out and get you. And you can do that. All right, time to wash a brush. And as you know, we wash our brushes just with odorless thinner. And just beat the devil out of them. Maybe I'll wash two. I dirtied up several while we were doing that. That's double your pleasure. Okay, now the little piece of masking tape right here. Let's take it off. See, now that leaves you with a very, very straight and smooth horizon. But there was no color for this. I'll take a little bit of the crimson and a little dark sienna. I'm just going to, probably this won't even show up. But I'm just rubbing a little transparent color on there, just bringing that all together. This is just the crimson, a little dark sienna. There, right up to the waterline. Okay, you just sort of blend it together. All right. Now then, we have to make some big major decisions here. You know me, I like to have these big crashing waves. I don't like just doing these little subdued waves. But if you like those, you can do those the same way as we do the little waves in the back, very simply. Maybe in our world, our wave's going to live right here. See, but you can take a fan brush or filbert brush and just make sort of a little outline of, there, that's going to be our wave, right there. Now then, with a little touch of the titanium white, and I'm using the number 3 fan brush. I'm go right up here to the horizon and just begin. And I'm come up close right here. I'm just making strokes where I'm going like this. I'm really exaggerating, but like that. And I'm exaggerating. But it looks like little watery things back here. There. Okay, and that's one of the nicest, easiest, simplest little ways that I've ever found. Just to make the indication of water back in there. I'm going to add the least little touch of cad yellow to the color right in here. Ooh, that's nice. That's beginning to sparkle a little bit more. See, it looks like light just shining right across there. There we go. And this is just some background material. Now then, let me wash the old brush. Now the fun part, right in here, that's the eye of the wave. That's the eye of the wave. We'll just take some titanium white and just, as my son Steve says, just moosh it in there. Really push it in there hard. Okay, and you can do this several times, and if it gets like there's a lot of color underneath, remove that excess paint, and that remains there. That color remains there. And we can take a little more of our white, and add a little cad yellow to that, and go right back in here. See there? And each time you do that, it'll get lighter and lighter. Or you can take a rag or something and just wipe that out, whichever way you'd like to do it. And maybe it comes right on back, like so. Just scrub it in. Now then, clean, dry 2-inch brush. I'm only going to use the top corner. And you put it there, and you just sort of wind it up. Just wiggle it. There. And you can make this as smooth as silk. So smooth. But there's not a lot of movement. It's just, you're sort of just going around in little tight circles. There we go. And then begin thinking about how you want your water to flow. There. Knock off that excess paint. That's an easy way of just about getting the brush clean without going through that whole procedure. There. Okay. Let me find a fan brush here. Got several of them there. Maybe in our world, we want to have this water crashing over. So grab it and pull. Think about the angle though. Angles are very important. Very important. Think about that water. Make those little noises. That really helps. There. Just think about it crashing over. And that's all that we need at this point. Now if you want to bring some of that dark back with a clean brush, you can just grab it and lift it upward. And that'll very gently blend it all together. See there? And then you can work back and forth till you get exactly the way that you want it. Okay, let me go back and get my little number 3 fan brush. I like this little fan brush. It's good for making little foamy things and stuff like that. Go take a little white, and I'm going into that nice lavender color we used in the sky. So it makes sort of a medium value lavender. Okay, let's go back up in here. Now then, let's start thinking about having some nice foam out here. I'm just using the corner of the fan brush. And once again, you can do this with a filbert just as well. The little number 6 filbert brush would work just as well. I just happen to have this, so we'll use it. And all we're doing here is putting in some shadows, some nice dark areas for the foam. But think about the water churning and bubbling and splashing and carrying on, crashing. Maybe it comes right over here, I don't know. Wherever you want. Okay, wash out a brush. I like to do seascapes. They're a lot of fun, and they'll force you to study water and how it moves and churns and etc. Go to the ocean, or get a video or photographs of water, just study. If you don't live near the ocean, then look in books and videos and stuff like that, and you can see all this. Now I've got just some titanium white. I'm going right up here on top of this darker color. And we're just gonna take the fan brush here and scrub in a little highlight. Wipe the brush off when you load it, so you have a nice, clean color. There. Just wiping on the paper towel in between. Think about that water hitting and splashing and churning. Make up little stories and sounds in your mind and just let it happen. Let it happen. There. Okay, now then back to our large brush. And I use the large brush only because it seems to have a little more hair in it and it blends better. You can do this with a 1-inch brush if you would like. I'm sort of hung up on this old big brush, but try them both, see which one works the best for you. And that's the one you ought to use. Okay, maybe over here, a little bit right in here too. Just that nice churning. Maybe there's even a little splashing down like that. Whatever. There. And that old water's coming down through here. We'll just begin. We want to add the least little touch of phthalo blue into that color. A little bluish. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. I like that. Begin thinking about how your water is coming up. Right up in this transparency or the eye. It's just phthalo blue and white once again. There. Maybe it comes down here and think about shape though. And maybe there's a nice, maybe there's something right here. But let that water come up and fall over. We're creating a trough or a valley in here. Okay, here it comes. There. Just wherever. A little bit more of the phthalo blue and white. There. But just let that splash and curl. Big things coming down through here. This is what gives shape and form to your wave. I tell you, maybe even in here, let's just use the corner of the brush. Maybe the water's splashing, crashing right along in here, and there may be another little splasher in there. Who knows? This is your world, so you can do anything that you want to do. Anything that you want to do. We take a large brush and just sort of blend that together. Now we're beginning to get into a little bit of that sap green and Van Dyke brown stuff that's down here. Okay. Alright, let me get the liner brush out. I like that little liner brush. We'll take that. I'm going to go into a little bit of that same lavender color that had a little white in it. Same color we have up here. Let's just sort of highlight this edge here with a little color. Make it nice and firm. And then begin putting in some little shapes. Just some little doers in there that create all the little shapes and stuff that you want here. Paint thinner with a little color. That's all I have here. Use a little of that blue and white in here. And this is where you can begin putting in all kinds of little details. And at home you have unlimited time. You can really sit and make beautiful little things in here. Put all those little details. Okay, there. And while I've got that going, maybe back in here you can see all these little doers. Little titanium white with paint thinner on it to highlight some of the brighter ones where you think light would hit. There. And as I say, this is what gives it, these little details is what really will make your seascape spectacular. Now then. Okay. Reach down in here, get a little touch more of that paint thinner. Just let some of these little things wiggle and jiggle in your hand shake. I've had people write and tell me they had a little nervous twitch in their hand. They valuable asset. Use it to your advantage. Use it to your advantage. There. Okay, tell you what, let's have some fun. Now, this big ledge up here, I've already covered that with a little bit of brown, as I mentioned earlier. So let's take a little, grab a little dark sienna, grab a little white, lizard crimson. Just sort of mix those loosely. I'm just going to mix them on the brush. Maybe even a little touch of the yellow ochre, not much, just a little. Okay, just on the fan brush. Let's go up here. And then let's begin thinking about shapes here. All you have to do is just tap. Just take the fan brush and tap. It's really all it amounts to. And you can begin forming your rocks just by tapping. Just tap. And here and there you can add a little light color wherever you think a light would strike and bounce and play. There. And leave some dark areas in here. Those dark areas will end up being big holes in the rocks. A little place for the seagulls to go in. And they gotta have a place to build a nest. And in Alaska we have little puffins. They're one of the cutest little birds God's ever made. Looks like their beak's too big for their head. Beautiful little birds. There. But just form these, just like so. And you can do this with a knife. I just want to show you several different ways of doing it. But the knife will work very well for making very nice rock effects. There. Try to stand out of the way so you can see there. Maybe this comes right on down into here somewhere. Like so. Let's see. I got several fan brushes going. Let me get another one here. I want to rock on the other side too. Right there. I bet you knew I was going to put a rock here, didn't you? I always like big rocks and big trees in my paintings. Just sort of decide how you think a little rock should live in there and drop it in. Okay, we can take some of that color, come right along in here. And once again, this is a nice way of outlining and forming your stones and rocks. There. I want this one to remain quite dark so it doesn't distract too much. There we go. Now you can take a clean, dry 2-inch brush and very gently, just caress it. Just caress it. And it'll blend all that together and make it nice and smooth. And it looks like beautiful stones then. But very, very gently. One hair and some air. One hair and some air. There. A little bit of our phthalo blue and white. Ooh, have a little splash coming right down through here. Shoot, maybe there's even a little water dripping down. You can do this with a liner brush or a fan brush. Just whatever. And maybe there's even one right there. Right there. Let that come right on back. Like so. So you just bring it all together. And then a little bit in the foreground. These seascapes are not near as hard as they look. You really can do these. Maybe let's get crazy. We have a second left here, so we'll put a little stone right here too. I just like to have stones all out in the water. Make it really, I like it. It just enhances my paintings. A little bit of a nice highlight color. And let's see here. We can take a liner brush, a little bit of phthalo blue and white, and paint thinner. Thin it down, and you can literally have water dripping right off these rocks, just like so. See? Let some of this just put all these little things in. It's a super way though of making very effective little seascapes like this. There. Okay. A little bit right in there. And you just make decisions where you think the water would be churning and splashing maybe all around this rock. Just using the corner of the fan brush though, it's all we're using. All back in here there would be, we're gonna have some churning back against that big rock. Little misty areas. Like so. And you can just keep on and on and on. But there comes a time when we have to stop. I'll tell you what, we'll just take a little touch of dark color. Maybe we'll put one little lonely bird up here. Little elm bird. And I think with that, we'll call this old painting finished. Hope this gives you an idea how we're doing a fantastic seascape at home. If you give it a try, you will love it. And I'd love to see some photographs of what you're doing. If you have time, drop us a line. Let us know if you like the show. Send us some pictures of what you're doing, okay? From all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy painting, and God bless, my friend. certainly glad you could join us today. I thought today we'd do a little seascape, one that's real easy, and I believe you're going to enjoy it. Let's start out and run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with us. While they're doing that, let me show you this crazy canvas I got up here today. Today I've taken my standard old 18 by 24 inch canvas, but I've painted the top with alizarin crimson acrylic. Let me say that again. It's acrylic on top, and the bottom is black gesso. Then I've covered the entire thing with a very thin coat of the liquid clear. Down here on the bottom, I've taken a little Prussian blue and sap green and ran across just a little bit. And down here, a little brown made from alizarin crimson and sap green. So there's brown on the bottom, there's sort of a blue-green here, and this just has clear on it. We'll play. All right. Just to get an introduction there was a biggie. Let's take a little titanium white, then I'm going to come right around here, get a little bit of the midnight black, and I'm going to make a gray color. Just white and black, or black and white, whatever your preference. Now then, let's go right up in here. And I'm just gonna dance in a few little areas here and there. Just a light gray color. I don't want to cover up all this red, but here and there I want to have just some little indications. The white is very opaque, but if you get it thin enough, the red will still show through and it'll give a reddish hue to our painting, at least in the sky. There. Something about like that. That's basically what we're looking for. Just some little indications here and there. All right. Once again, I don't want to kill all this red. I want it to come through the color. So you need to really thin it out. And because the liquid clear is in there, you can get this very thin, and it'll work out for you very nicely. There. Now, while I have a little brush going, I'm going to take a very, very small amount of phthalo blue. Just a little bit on the old 2-inch brush. Very small amount. I just want to tint the sky. Just wherever, and we'll sort of play back and forth as we work. Now then. Okay, time to wash the old brush, because that's a fun part.
Thank you for the 22 months of support, Laz. I appreciate it. How you doing?
Shake off the excess.
Welcome in.
And just
I hope you had fun with your family.
Let's build this today a happy little cloud. I'm going to take a little titanium white, right on the old 2-inch brush, same old brush. And let's go up in here.
I guess we won't need the missing person flyers now. I'm finally home, hee hee.
Maybe.
Yep.
Wherever.
Welcome home. Well, yeah, welcome home. Welcome
I
back.
think they should live. That's exactly where they should be. Just basic little shapes. Right back and grab a blender brush here.
We're just jamming to the Pokemon music.
Very, very soft blender brush. It allows you to
Anyway,
put things together.
I'm gonna get back to editing.
That easy.
But yeah, just having fun, having a conversation.
See,
Not with the
this is
mic
just a
on, but
fantastic little cloud. You can do this. All you need is a little practice, the right equipment, and off you go. Okay. That's what makes a style of painting so unique and so wonderful. Is that anybody can do it. You don't have to be blessed by Michelangelo at birth. You can create a beautiful painting. Yeah, you can do it. All right, maybe another little happy cloud lives right here. Notice we're doing them in layers, though. Now then, back to my little blender. La la la, there we are. Just blend it away, wherever you want it to go. There. See, but this keeps the edge nice and firm there by doing it in layers. So don't get greedy. I know, it gets good. You don't want to stop. You want to do them all at one time. But take your time, take your time. Just try to do one at a time. There. Maybe. I'm just letting this sort of dance around. Maybe it comes right out here. Wherever. We're going to have some big clouds in the sky today. So you just decide where you want them and drop them in. It's really that easy. Just tap them in. Maybe there's even a little bit goes off in here somewhere. Back to our little blender. That's all I'm doing, just picking up the blender. And then we'll begin putting these together. Just blend them away. Very softly. We're going to have a monster sky in this one, I can tell. There. That little blender brush, though, it's so soft you can go right over the paint without mixing it all up. There we go. I'm going to just feather those edges out till they're very quiet. You almost don't see them. They just sort of disappear. There we are. About like that. That's all we need. That's all we need. Already that's looking like a pretty nice little sky. I like to do skies like this. They're a lot of fun. A little more white. I'm not stopping yet. I think we'll just put another happy little cloud in there. Maybe it comes around like that. Goes off. You make a decision. In your world, you decide where everything lives. The clouds, the sky, little birds. There. I'm just going to put another cloud here. You know, in one of the earlier shows, a couple of the earlier shows, I showed one of my little baby baby squirrels that I'm raising right now. We've had so many people write and say, I want to see him again. So I'm going to put up a little bit of footage here and let you just check out my little squirrel. This is the one we call Peapod Jr. because he sort of likes to live in my shirt too. Yeah, isn't he a mess? I love these little rascals. They're so much fun to feed and to play with and to work with. It creates a whole new awareness of nature when you work with little animals like this. Probably in every town nearly in the country, there are people who work with injured and orphaned animals. And this is where I get all these little animals that you see. I try to work with these people and help them out. Any way I can make their life a little easier. And they allow me to share just what you see right there. Some of God's little creatures. Isn't he adorable? By the time you see this, he'll be living out in my backyard. Because we do not keep these little animals. These are wild animals. And they're meant to live outside. And that's where we put them. But hopefully, he'll hang around the backyard and allow me to continue to share his world for a little while. Look at there. He's not the neatest eater in the world, is he? But that's okay. Every year I raise several of these little rascals and turn them loose. There. Just gives you a good feeling. All I'm doing is just putting in some clouds while you're watching little Peapod Jr. there. All right. He wouldn't share either. You notice that? That's totally his. None of that's for me. Okay. I think we about have a little sky finish. Hope you enjoy watching those little critters, because they really are fun. And they're very important in my life. So I took a little touch of the phthalo blue and just added right there. Just a little touch. All right. Now, I have a little piece of masking tape here just to protect my horizon line. That's the only reason it's there. A little touch more of the phthalo blue. I already have white in this new blender. So
Secret found out my secret.
Isn't that a wild sky? I bet there's a
That's
certain
crazy.
one here.
He found out that I like copydons.
All right.
That's crazy.
Now then, I get to wash the old brush again. That's really all I wanted to do. We wash our brushes, as you know, in odorless paint thinner. Shake off the excess. And just beat the devil out of it. Okay. I want to take off this little piece of masking tape. See, now that way my horizon line is nice and straight and very even. And that was Prussian blue and sap green. I want to add just a touch more
He found out.
where the piece of tape was.
Found out about my secret love of copydons. Dang, it's almost like all secrets are not secret to me, because secrets are literally stored in my dimension. Dang, I can't keep a secret from secret.
Not the easiest thing in the world to do.
Dang.
So let's make a seascape that's a little easier to do today. We're going to use the small knife a lot. And I'm going to take a little roll of paint, and I'm going to start out by just figuring out basically here where my major wave will be. I want one big crasher wave. It comes right up here. Maybe it bends over like that. And maybe there's a little dooter there. And off sort of like that. That's really about all we're looking for. It's just a shape to tell us where the old big wave's going to live in our world. And back here, maybe there's a little wave that lives there. Putting a lot of pressure on the knife, bending it. Bending it. If you don't get too crazy, it's knife's pretty strong. You're not going to break it. Now, I will take a number 3 fan brush. I'm going to use the small one today. And very gently, I just want to blend that back a little bit. Just enough to do that. So, we don't want to lose it. It's the dark area right here that's important. Don't lose it. Hang on to it. It's a good friend. Just blend a little bit of that color back. Just a little. See? Don't get too crazy. I know. It gets nice. And a little bit in here, a little bit there. Now then, tell you what, while I have that little brush going, I'll take a little more titanium white. And back in here, I'm just going to put some little indications of some little strokes that will make it look like little distant waves far, far away. Something about like so. We're not too worried about these. We'll sort of put them together with the line brush. We'll put detail in there. There. But that's really about all we need. It gives the indication that something's happening back here. Other than that, not too worried. There. Now then, let's have some fun. We'll take some more.
So, Laz, what did you do? Did you go to like the park and hang out with your family, or
It's really out there.
what was
They
up?
said this water was going to come around here like this. So,
Like strolls in the park, or like going to the bakery, or going to the cafe, eating chocolate, or something like that.
that's going to be
Those are things I would like. We did a lot. Oh, good. I'm glad.
Just gonna
I'm glad.
touch this and give it a
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, because
That's about all.
it's been rough for me, but that's okay.
Now,
Well, my parents and I play Pokemon Go, so we went out a lot. Oh, your parents play Pokemon Go too? That's cool. I wish my mom played Pokemon Go, but my mom is a normie, so
Just rub it.
she does not do those things, unfortunately.
See?
Took so long, I thought he went to buy milk on us,
Cadmium yellow, a little white.
but he came back when we needed him the most. Come on, Secret. Oh my goodness.
Right through there.
Pokemon is nice. I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't played the games in a long time.
But already, it's beginning to give the impression of a wave. It's that easy. Okay. Take a little phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, proportionally much more crimson. Much more crimson than the blue. All right. Let's grab a little white, put in there so I can see what color I've got. Ooh, I like that. I like that color. Nice one. Sometimes it just works. Wonderful. We'll come right in here and we'll put a little indication, maybe a shadow. There, and just rub it in. It's going to mix with that color that's on the canvas automatically. Automatically. This old crasher way goes right up here and breaks the horizon. There we go. Just splash it up in the sky. About like that. We don't know where it's going yet. We'll make that decision in a little while. Take a little phthalo blue. A little bit of white. There. And we'll just make a nice bluish color, maybe a little darker than that. About like that. That's pretty nice. I like that color. All right. There. Now we have several different values we can use. And we can begin thinking about maybe there's a little neuter comes right there. I know, it didn't make any sense yet. Watch. Watch. It'll come. Here comes the water. Coming right down. We can just put all kinds of little things in there. Just blend them together. This knife will do fantastic things if you just give it a chance. Just rub it.
My family is normal depending on who you ask.
When I'm at home.
Yeah,
But that's
I understand that.
on television with a limited time frame.
I understand that.
But you can do the entire painting with nothing but the knife.
For sure.
You really can. All right. Take a little bit of the titanium white. Just want to make it look like the water's beginning to fall over. Something about like so. Now then, let's take, I'm just using the knife here, and I'm just going to touch it. Let that water splash and churn and crash as it comes over. Just boom. Make little sound effects when you do this. It really helps. Get you in the mood. Think about a day at the ocean. Shoot, if you don't live close to the ocean, then just sort of imagine it. Painting is imagination anyway. It's imagination that you can see. There. But that easy, you can make the indication of just a happy little foam wave crashing, churning. There it comes. All right, we need something for that to be a hitting on there. Let's take some of our browns, Van Dyke, dark sienna mixed together. Throw some black in there too, only dark. Maybe, yeah. Let's put us a nice rock right here. There it is. Just a big old happy rock. Gotta have something for all this to splash on. There I go making a noise again. I'm sorry, I get carried away making noises. If you was to record me at home when I'm painting by myself, people think you're nuts. I sit around all by myself in a big old empty house and make weird little noises. But they say, you know that Bob, he's a painter. Painters are sort of strange, so it's okay. Take a little black, a little white, a little brown, mixed all together. There. Now I want to come right in here, and I'm still just using the knife. Just going to sort of put the indication of a stone here. You have to keep wiping the knife off. Just wipe off the excess paint. Then just by rubbing, you can begin to create the illusion of all kinds of things happening here. Painting is nothing more than games of illusion. That's really all it is. On a flat surface, you make it look like there's depth and dimension. That's what it's all about. We'll take a little white, a little touch of the phthalo blue, not much. And very gently, just begin bringing these two together. Just churning, fighting, crashing, and carrying on there. There we are. Something about like that. All right. Now, let's find, there's one. We'll take a little Indian yellow, some white, and just mix them together. Indian yellow is a very bright yellow. Let's go up in here. right there. We'll put some reflection right in the water. About like that. Now if you start in the brightest area and work out, automatically it'll pick up that color underneath and get darker and darker as it works out. A little more color, lightest area, and then we work outward. That easy. See, it gets darker and darker automatically. Now we'll go across, just like we're making reflections, because that's what it is. It's just reflected color. Oh, it looks wet. Like that. Now then, time to start having some fun here. Take a little white, a little blue, and maybe firm pressure right along in here. Like that. Firm pressure. There we go. Really get in there and work it. But isn't that a neat way to make a little seascape? And as I say, if you've had trouble with seascapes before, this might be the answer to your problem. Because it's very simple, it works. Put another little duder out there. Firm pressure, I want that nice edge to be there. And you need to wipe the knife continually, get the paint off. There. Right around something like that. A few of these little duders, we can bring them. See, it's up to you. You make the decisions. You make the decisions. Whatever you want to be. Just all kinds of little things happening in here. Pick up a little of that color, bring it down. It creates the way the water is going to flow. That easy. Alright. I get carried away when I do these because I like them. I like to do these little rascals. And I like to paint with a knife. It's really, as I say, when you're at home you can paint entire paintings using nothing but the knife. Try it. You'll like it. I'll take a little more of the blue and white. Once again, our little roll of paint, I want one more of those little diggers. There's right here. Something about like that, so it just goes around off the canvas. Gives it a little more depth. And put a few little things. Now we can take our little fan brush and very gently just grab that and pull it back right across the water there. See? Just pull it back. Just grab that color. That needs to go pretty straight. You don't want your water to look like it's running up side of a mountain or something. It needs to go fairly straight. Alright. But isn't that a super simple little way of making a very effective seascape? I think you'll like that one. Try it. And I'd love to hear from you. You know, if you have time, drop me a line. Send me a photograph of your paintings. My gosh, we get some of the most beautiful photographs. People are doing all over the country. Marvelous, marvelous paintings. I want to brighten that so it stands out. Looks like the water's coming over a little bit. It's up to you. You decide where all these little rascals live. We can splash a few little more things up in here. Don't want to get this too crazy. Up in here. There. Alright. As I mentioned, we can take the script liner brush, a little paint thinner. I'm using white with a touch of, just a touch of phthalo blue in it. In here and there and there. You can get in here and put in some details. Just put in all kinds of little waves and things that make your seascape really special, fantastic looking. But that easy. Just thin the paint down with paint thinner, and then it'll slide right over here. There, see? Once again, I think this is one of the easiest seascapes we've ever come up with. It's a lot of fun to do, and you really can do this one. We'll have a little do-it, just comes right down the wave there. Anywhere you want. There we go. And you can put as much detail in your world as you want. Or you can stop right there, right where it was. Take a little of that lavender color, and I just want to highlight right around the edge of that little dark line will help set everything off. And even under here, if you put a dark line, it'll make it project up. Just put a dark line under all those little things right like that. And I think we'll take a little red, and we'll sign this one. I'll call it finished. Hope you've enjoyed this little seascape. It's a lot of fun, and I'd love to see what you're doing. If you do have time, send me a picture. Until next time, from all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy painting. God bless, my friend. Glad you could join me today. You ready to do a fantastic painting? Well, let's get started. Okay. Okay, let's have them run all the colors across the screen as you need to do this painting. They'll come across as usual in the same order that I have them on the palette. While they're doing that, let's go up here and talk a second. I've done something a little different today. I have my standard 18 by 24 inch canvas up here, but I've covered the top with liquid white and the bottom with liquid clear. Now that's just a clear medium. It's just like the liquid white on is clear. I'm going to do a little seascape day, and I want my dark color to stay dark, so we put the clear in here. So let's get started. I'm going to take off with a little bit of Prussian blue. A little Prussian blue. Into that, the tiniest little bit of black. Midnight black, Prussian blue. Let's go up here. Now, using the little crisscross strokes, I want to just drop in a happy little sky. And let's have some beautiful clouds in the sky. So we'll just leave some general shapes where we put a little cloud. There we go. Just something like that. Just happy little sky. Doesn't take you but a second when you're using a big old 2-inch brush. Now then, I'm going to use the same old dirty brush, go right into some of the midnight black, reach down here, and I grabbed a little bit of the bright red. So I have midnight black and bright red. Just mix them on the brush. Let's go right up here. And maybe there's a big old cloud and he lives right there. We'll put the shadow in first, and then we'll come back and we'll drop in some of the shiny stuff, some highlights. Let's start off with the shadow. All right. Tell you what, I'm just going to reach over here and grab a 1-inch brush. Go right into titanium white with the least little touch of bright red again. Little sunshine color. Load a lot of paint into the bristles. Let's go right here. Now then, just lay in your basic little cloud shape using tiny, tiny little circles. See there? Just let these little rascals just float around in your world. Let them float around. All right, right in here, there's another happy little cloud. In your painting, you put as many or as few clouds as you want. There we go. Now, we'll take a clean, dry 2-inch brush, and we'll just sort of stir this up. Just sort of mix it using tiny little circles with the top corner of the brush. Tiny little circles. Like that. Okay. We'll knock off the excess paint, and we'll fluff this cloud. Just grab it, lift it, fluff it up. Isn't that a fantastic way to make a happy little cloud? Happy big cloud. That's a son of a gun. All right. And maybe in this painting, tell you what, I'll wash the brush here real quick. Shake it off. And redecorate the studio. Maybe in this painting, let's have a big mountain. We'll really have some fun. We'll have a mountain made out of black and blue. Black and blue. This is Prussian blue. Cut us off a little roll of paint. Okay, let's go right up here. Now then, maybe this old mountain lives right up in the clouds here. There he goes. There's a bump there. Just make your mountain however you want it. Maybe this one sort of leans over. When he was just a little hill, maybe somebody stepped on him, pushed him. He's got sort of a bend on him. What the heck? Scrape off all the excess paint. Just really, see there, get tough with it. You can probably hear how hard I'm scraping the canvas. There we go. Now then, take a 2-inch brush and very lightly, see there, just pull it out and let it blend right into the liquid white. Just like so. There we go. There we go. Isn't that super? Now then, we'll use some titanium white, pull it out very flat, and we need that little roll of paint. Always get that little roll of paint. And go right up here and begin laying in some highlights. No pressure. No pressure at all. Look at that. Look at that. Just sort of flow together. Over here, grab it. See how you can make that old mountain just curve right around there? Look at that. Let that paint break. No pressure. Can't say that enough times. There it goes. Okay. Take a little edge of the knife and put a little right there. Maybe even some right in there, wherever you want it. So just look at your mountain and decide where you think light would strike. We'll take a little bit of phthalo blue and white, and with that, we'll just mix us up a shadow color. That's a little bit too bright, so I'll put a little black in it. That'll dull it. There, that's much better. Okay. Now then, begin picking out the shadows here. Look at that. Bring it right on through. Just let all these things just happen. Right over in here, there's a little shadow that goes right off in there. Sort of bring that together. See how you can create all those beautiful, beautiful effects? I knew you could do it. All right, we're dry brush. Follow the angles. We want to create a misty appearance. Just tap. Just following those angles. Over here, we go in this direction. There we are. Clean dry brush. Lift upward. Just lift it upward. Like so. Over here, follow those angles. Always follow the angles in your mountain. It's most important. Oh, we got a wild looking mountain there already. Okay, now down here we have the liquid clear. So let's just add some nice dark color. I'm gonna go right into blue. This is Prussian blue, and let's take some alizarin crimson and add to it. So we got Prussian blue and alizarin crimson. Okay, let's go right up here. Now you have to make a big decision here. Where's your water line gonna be? I think it should be right there. Try to keep this fairly straight. if your water line is not straight, your water's gonna run right off on the floor. Then you're gonna be angry. There we go. Maybe I'll put some more crimson in it. Yeah, there we go. Now we have sort of a lavenderish color. Boy, that's pretty. But see now, if you had liquid white up there, when you did this, you would pick up the liquid white and you would lose all your values. Now then, we have to make some decisions. Let me show you. I'll just take a little filbert brush here. Come right up here. We have to decide where we're going to have this major wave. So just take a little filbert, and you can just sort of sketch it in. Maybe it comes right along in here somewhere, comes up here and crashes over. Boom. Right there. Shoot, we'll have another one over here, wherever you want. In these areas, if we're going to have two little crashers, that's technical talk, two little crashers, then we want to have a little light area in there. So we want to save that area. That's one of the reasons I use that liquid clear, is so we can save the transparency. Now the rest of it we can just fill in with a very dark color, just like so. That easy. Okay, we got that rascal in there. Now then, I'm going to go into a little touch of phthalo green, right on the same old dirty brush. Ooh, a little too much green. There, that's better. I want some. See, now don't kill that area. It's going to be transparent. Good, right up into there. We can come up in here. And all we're doing here is just blocking in some color. We're not looking for a great deal of detail or anything else at this point. We'll do that in a little bit. Just laying some color on the canvas. Well, that looks like a wild mess there already. Okay. Let me grab my fan brush. Now let's begin putting some swells back here. We'll just go right into titanium white. Load that brush full of paint. Full of paint. Okay, let's go back up here. Now then, right in here, I'm just going to begin just barely touching the canvas. Don't kill all the little dark areas, just sort of back and forth. See, leave some little dark areas. And right in here, we'll have, there we go. There's a nice one, there's a nice one. Maybe right along in there, another one. And I'll wipe off the excess paint, and very lightly here, I'm going to grab this and begin pulling it. See, just pull it, pull it. Look at that. See, that picks up all that beautiful color we have underneath. Look at all the little things that are happening. Isn't that super? Did you know you could do a seascape that easy? They don't have to be hard. Now then, come right along this wave, put a little of that in, and pull it back. Look at that, look at that. See, and that creates the little swells. We'll bring it down. You could say, this is a swell painting. Now you know why I paint instead of being a comedian. There we go. And that blocks all that in for us. And let's go back to our little number 6 filbert. And I'm going to take titanium white, just pick it up with a brush, and the least little touch of the cad yellow. Titanium white, cad yellow. Load a lot of paint on your brush. Let's go back up here. If your little transparency or your eye is going to be right here, then drop it in. Ooh, isn't that pretty? Let it come down and begin picking up some of this color. See? Let it begin picking up some of that green that we put in. Alright. Now, over here, we decided maybe right here, there's going to be another one. Let me move over a little. And it's going to come right through there. Like that. Like that. There. Alright. Now we can take a clean 2-inch brush, and we want to just blend this all together so it's very smooth. Look at that. Now we'll do the other one. Now you can begin creating the shape of this wave just by pulling down with a brush. Same thing over here. Same thing. Grab another fan brush. And I have several brushes going, so I don't have to stop and continually clean them. We'll take a little of that dark color. This is blue, a little pale green. And where this is going to be crashing, we need some dark in here. We need that dark in here, so our light color will show. Gotta put the dark in, so the light will show. Look at there. We were gonna have one over here too. Put that dark in. All right. Maybe you got it. Okay, get that brush all cleaned up. Now then, we can come right along the top of this. This is just the old filbert with a little white and yellow on it. We want a nice highlight up on top of that. You could do that with a fan brush. In fact, let's do it with a fan brush. See there? Just smooth that. But leave that little bright ridge on there. That's pretty. That's pretty. Okay, now then, let's take a little titanium white on the fan brush. And come right up here. Let this crash right over. Make little noises, little sounds. Look at that. And over here, there's some more. That easy. That easy. Okay. Now then, I'm gonna take some of this lavender color. That's alizarin crimson and blue mixed together. And we'll put a little touch of white in, like that. Good. Let's go up here. Now, right in here, we're gonna have some crash. So we gotta put the shadow in first. Want the shadow in first. Then we'll come back and add the nice bright area. There it is. Maybe it's really crashing up here. We'll just over here. We want this one to have a little crash on it too. Okay. Put the crash in. And then we can go back to our titanium white with a little bit of yellow, just a small amount. And let's come back in here and put some highlights on this. Push it, bend that brush. Just bend it. And all you're doing to start with is just laying it on. We'll come back with a clean brush and smooth it right now. Just looking to get that, ooh, there we go. Get that nice shape in there. Just like so. Okay, a little bit over here. Same idea. Same idea. There we go. Now then, let me clean this brush up a little bit. And you want it good and dry. This brush needs to be dry to do this. I just have a paper towel. Now I'm gonna just take the brush and rub it. Just bring all that together. See there. Don't let this get too light on you. It's almost a natural tendency to want to jump in there and make this all shiny and white. It doesn't work well. Okay. Now with a clean brush, very gently, just sort of mix that up a little bit. Okay. Give this a little crasher. Now then we can begin coming in here and begin making little foam patterns, little things that are just traveling right up the wave. This is where you shape the wave. Give him some personality. See there? Right on out. Over here too. Don't want him left out. See, you create all kinds of little things. And in here, now this will be out of the shadow of the wave, so it'll be a little brighter. Just a little bit brighter. All kinds of little things. Now then, we need something for this big crashing wave to be hitting. I like to have stones in there. So I'll take a little Van Dyke brown, a little dark sienna mixed together, pull it out, get that little roll of paint on the knife. Need that. Okay, now, big stone lives right there. Right there. See there? Just drop him in. Now then, we'll take some dark sienna, some yellow ochre, and mix it together. I'll throw a little bit of bright red in there too. What the heck? Cut us off a little piece. Go right up in here. No pressure. Just let this sort of graze that. Make that quite bright so you can see it well. All right, now we'll bring some water right around his little foots. See, just bring it all together. Bring it all together. Need these little foamy things in here. Tell you what, let's do. I'm gonna go right into a touch of dark sienna, a little bit of Van Dyke brown, and let's put some sand right here. We'll have some sand. Let it get lighter and lighter and lighter. Lighter and lighter right up to the water. Maybe at least a little touch of alizarin crimson. Oh, look at that. Isn't that nice? Look at there. Fantastic. Fantastic. I knew you could do it. Yeah, clean the old brush up. kick out of there. All right, I'm gonna take a little paint thinner, go right into this. This is phthalo blue and white. And let's go up in here and just begin adding a few little details. Just here and there. Just to sort of make some of these little things just sparkle. Just make them sparkle. Then with paint thinner, I'm going right into it. This is the titanium white with a little touch of cad yellow into it. And we'll just, with this, we'll put a few little sparklers up here in the water. Don't get too many, or you'll lose their effect. Just a few. You can overdo real easy. See, I'll put a few little things coming down the way, down through here. There. All right, all right. Now then, more paint thinner. And picked up a little bit of dark color. I want to make a little line underneath the edge of my water here. Just a little line to set it off. Just to set it off. Then we can gently, gently blend that. See how that makes it sort of set upward? Very nice. Okay, tell you what. Let's grab an old fan brush here. I'm gonna go into some sap green. Sap green, sap green. We'll grab some black and some brown, and we just make a big old gooky color here. This is green, brown, black. Oh, those good colors. A little more brown into it. Let's go up here. Maybe back in here, far away. There's some little trees that live. We can make the indication of little distant trees just by tapping down with the old fan brush. We're not looking for detail. It's too far away. When things are far away, you don't see a bunch of detail. And let that run right on out. Like that. And just to give an indication of trees far, far away. All right. Now we can take a 2-inch brush. I'm going to go right into dark sienna, Van Dyke brown. Just tap some onto the brush here. And maybe underneath these little distant trees, there's a little bit of brown. Comes right down through there. Shoot, we might even have some nice cliffs. So we can just lay them in with a brush and then highlight them. It doesn't matter. Comes right out. Isn't that neat? And there's another one. And he lives there. Just like that. Okay. Now with another 2-inch brush, I'm going to go into yellow ochre and dark sienna. Just mix them on the brush. Okay, let's go right up in here. I just want to tap some nice little highlights. Right on there. Make it look like little grassy things way back. Like that. Okay, we can take the knife and we can firm these edges up here a little bit. Look at that. You can just put as many of them in there as you want. I'm going to grab the old fan brush. We'll take some yellow, sap green, a little yellow ochre. Just mix them together here. A lot of paint in the brush. Let's go back up here. Now then, maybe there's some little grassy things that go right down these hills, right almost out to the water. A lot of nice color. Just let them come right down. And this is where you create the lay of the land. See there? All those little things just happen. Just happen. Now let's put some little things. See here? We're gonna make your sand wet, so pull that down. Go across. Line our brush, and we'll go right into a little bit of blue and white. We want this paint to be as thin as water. Okay, let's go back up here. Now then, maybe right along these edges here. See if we can clean up all those nice little edges. And here's a little ripple. He lives right there. Just let him go right on back. Just all kinds of little ripples happening. Like so. See there? And as many of them as you want. Okay. Tell you what. We need a couple of nice trees in there. We'll take some Van Dyke brown and some sap green. Just use the old 1-inch brush. The tree lives right there. Nice big bush. He lives right there. Okay. And we can highlight that. We'll use a little yellow, a little green. Okay, let's go back up here. And we need some leaves on this little tree. Don't want him to look naked out here. Put some clothes on him so he really sparkles. Look at that. That easy. That easy. Back in here, we'll just take a little white, clean up these edges so that it all comes together. Now then, tell you what, let's have some fun. We'll take Van Dyke brown. We'll use this old filbert brush, and maybe there's a tree. Ooh, you're right. There's a right there. there. Maybe he's got an old arm. The trees that live out here, let's give him a friend. The trees that live out here, boy, they catch the devil. I mean, this is some rough living. And we'll give him another little arm here and there, wherever. We'll take a little bit of the liquid black, put it on the palette, liner brush, and I added paint color to it, so it's even a little bit thinner. And now let's take, and we'll just put a couple of old tired arms out here on this, like so. There, see? Just an old tired arm. And with a fan brush, we'll just use some green and brown. Let's put an indication of a few leaves out here. Not many. Most of them have already, well, they got tired and quit. Just indication. This is a rough place to live right here. And I think with that, we just about got a finished painting. The old clock on the wall tells me I have to leave it for this week, but I really hope you've enjoyed this one. Until next time, happy painting. God bless. Hi, welcome back. Certainly glad you could join us today. I thought today we'd just do a little seascape that I think you're going to enjoy. Let's start out and have run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with us. While they're doing that, let me show you what I got done. Today I have a smaller canvas than usual because I wanted one that's rectangular and quite long. So I have a 12-inch by 24-inch canvas. You use any size that you like. I just sort of like this for seascapes. And I've covered the entire canvas with a very thin coat of liquid white and liquid clear mixed together, just a little of each, about half and half, and then I've just covered it, but once again, a very thin coat. So let's just start out and have some fun. We'll start with a little 2-inch brush. We'll go into a small amount of the phthalo blue. Just tap a little into the bristles. Notice we pull the paint out very flat, so we can just pick up a little bit of it. You go up here in this big pile, you're gonna get too much. Just a little. You just want a little, and you tap it into the bristles. That helps assure a nice even distribution of color all the way through it. Okay, let's go up in here. Now then, just making little X's, little crisscross strokes. Let's just put in a happy little sky. Just something like so. All the way across. There. About like that. Doesn't much matter, wherever you want it. That's exactly where it should be. So we'll come down to about there. All right. And that's about enough. Right there. Okay, we get to wash the brush already. As you know, that's my favorite part of the whole painting procedure, is just washing the brush. Shake it off, and we just create one big mess. Oh, that's fun. It really is. I'm going to go right into titanium white. I'm just tapping the brush right into just straight titanium white. I'll put the indication here. Some little floater clouds that just live here. Isn't life wonderful? There we go. We have such a good time making these shows here. We've been making television here at the same studio now for well over 10 years, and these people have become very special friends to me. It's like coming home. There we are. Something about like that. And then we'll just sort of fluff them up a little bit. And go across. And that'll give us a little cloud way back in the distance. And let me find my knife. We'll take a little alizarin crimson, a little phthalo blue, mix it together. I want to make a lavender color, but sort of to the reddish side. There we are. Okay, wipe off the old knife. And shoot. Brush isn't too dirty. Maybe we can continue to use it. And I'll just go right on that color. And maybe we have some indications of some little lavender clouds that are right at the waterline. And we can just throw in some happy little things wherever you want. Wherever, doesn't matter. Something about like that. There, we just let them maybe just float right on out to nothing over there. Oh, there's a big one. That happens sometime. There we go. And right on out. And we'll fluff it, lift it, blend it, like that. And that'll give us an indication of some little clouds that live far, far away. And that's all we're looking for right now. It's just indications. There. All right. That's simple. Isn't that a fantastic way of making a very colorful little sky that's effective? All right, we get to wash the brush again. Shake off that paint thinner. Just cover everybody in the studio. All right, you can blend that a little if you want to, but we're not going to spend much time on the sky. I want to work more on the water today. Let's take. Oh, we'll go right into some phthalo blue. I like phthalo blue. A little bit of black. Just mix them together. And be right back. We can get a little crimson. So we have phthalo blue, black, and crimson. There. And let's figure out, basically here, maybe, let's see, where we want our waterline to be. I know, that's probably not real straight. There. When you're painting, it's better to sort of step back and take a look-see. Sometimes when you're standing as close as I am here, it's very hard to tell if a line's straight, crooked, or in between. But let's say that's halfway straight. There. Now, I had a little more crimson right here on the edges. I want a little more crimson right there. Something about like that, maybe on both sides. In your world, you decide. Now, you're probably wondering why I put the liquid clear with the liquid white. Because when I did this, I didn't want it to turn light blue. I wanted it to stay quite dark. And if I had put liquid white only on there, as you know, it would have got much lighter in value, and I don't want that. I want it to stay quite dark. Makes it easier. There. All right. And we'll just bring that down to somewhere in there. It doesn't matter. You make the big decisions where all these things live in your world. There we go. Okay, let me just grab another brush. I don't have to waste all my time just cleaning. And I only pick up some of that lavender color that we made. That was alizarin crimson and a little bit of the phthalo blue mixed together. And maybe right in here. Ooh, isn't that a pretty color? We'll just add a little bit of that. Thought we'd just do a little seascape today. It's very colorful. And I have a confession to make. People always ask me, where do you get ideas for your paintings? I was over in New Smyrna Beach the other day at my partner Annette's shop. She's got a little shop over there. And she was teaching this painting to some of her students. And I just fell in love with it. And I asked her for permission to show it to you on the program. So, Annette, thanks. I owe you one. There we go. And I probably won't do near as good a job on it as she does, but this is basically the way she does it. So, we'll try it. Wash the brush again. If nothing else, we'll get a lot of practice washing the brush. Okay, we're ready. Let's find, we'll just use a fan brush, it doesn't matter. One of the things I like to do when I do seascapes is figure out where my major wave is going to be, and then just take a little, you can use a filbert, it doesn't matter, fan brush, whatever. And I just want to basically indicate in here where I think the major wave is going to live. And in my world, I think it's going to go right out through here and maybe crash over right there, and it'll just disappear. How's that? Nice, simple little painting. There we are. Okay. Now, back into my white. Still using the same little fan brush. And maybe back in here, going straight in and just giving it a wiggle. Maybe there's a little splasher that lives back here in the background somewhere. Straight in and just make it wiggle up and down. There. And that's all there is to it. Something about like that. And we can put the indication here and there and there and here. Just some little doors that live back here far away. There we are. A little more of the white. Strengthen that one a little. Yeah. It's a little closer. Okay. Something about like so. See, Annette does a lot of gorgeous paintings. I think her most fantastic thing is flowers. She does some of the most gorgeous flowers I've ever seen. I'm going to get her on the show here one day. Sooner or later, get her to paint a flower for you. I think you'll be amazed. I'm not a talker into it. I'm going to take a little yellow ochre and a little white. A little yellow ochre and white. Like that. Just make me a nice little, sort of a gold color. Let's go up in here. This is going to be our little wave. Let's put a little bit of that color right in here. Like so. Something like that. Now, we'll get a little blender brush. And just begin blending that. Blend it, blend it, blend it. And you can do this several times to achieve a desired lightness if you want to. Up to you. You decide. You decide. Wherever you want it. But see, that blender brush just makes that soft as silk. Just so tender, so soft. There we go. Something about like that. Okay. Now, if you wanted to make it a little brighter, we'll just do it. Let me just pick up a little more of that same color. Same color. And maybe right in here we'll have it a little brighter. And just sort of smoosh it in, as Steve says. I don't know if that's a word or not, but when he uses it, everybody knows what he means. There we go. Something about like that. All right. And begin thinking about shape here. Okay. Now then, let's take, I have several little I'm using number 3 fan brushes today, but it doesn't matter. You can use 3 or 6, whatever you have. Take a little dark color. This is just some black and some blue, a little crimson in it. And let's take, and I want to make this wave sort of crash over right here. Now, the only way to make that dark right there stand out, we're going to put a little light right behind it. I want to lay that in first, get an idea where it's at. Go back to my fan brush that has some of the lighter color in it. And let's come right behind it, and then gently blend that back, thinking about how the wave goes up. Just need a little lighter in there to make that rascal show up. See? nicest little seascapes. And it works very well. Very well. There. Now then. Okay, I'll show you a little trick here. Take a little bit of the dark color on the filbert. About like so. And we go up in here and see this little wave right here? This little crasher. You push right up into there. And just form it. That easy. That easy. Isn't it neat? It's another little trick Annette showed me. And it works very well. See, now it just makes a nice dark bottom. And it works that easy. Same thing over in here. Put a little dark right in there. We'll come back, put a little light and some foam on there, and that'll show up so nice. So nice. And we can put our foam in, well, tell you what, we can just use a little filbert, or you can use a fan brush, it doesn't matter. I picked up a filbert, so we'll use it. And let's go in here and think about some happy little splashes living right up here on top of this. Like so. Now I picked up some blue, and I'm going to let that be the shadow as we come up in here. There we are. Okay, now wipe off the brush, pick up a little bit of clean white, and we can highlight that. Just think about water crashing, smashing, having a good time up in here. There. All right. I like to paint water. I don't do it a lot, but I do like to paint it. I was born in Daytona Beach, Florida, which is one of the most fantastic beaches in the world. There. Now then, let's take our little script liner brush, take a little light blue, we use a little white, paint thinner, put a little bit of color on the brush. And we can go up in here and we can begin putting in all kinds of little doers that live up in here. Just begin applying them. There. Let these little foam patterns just work our way on out. Wherever you want them to go. Right up on top of that wave. Okay. A little more of the dark color. And I want to put a little dark edge right there. Just, we'll make that stand right out. Let that little rascal crash over it. Some little things coming through there. Just take your time and play with these. They're a lot of fun. And really just move the water every which way. Okay. Let's take the little knife. This is a small knife. I've got some white. It's got a small amount of blue. Just enough to tin it. Cut off a little roll of paint. Let's go up in here. And maybe right in here. And we're going to use a lot of pressure. Get in here and just... Maybe there's a... See there? We're really applying a lot of pressure though. There it goes back somewhere. We don't know where it goes. I'm going to take our little fan brush. It's pretty clean. Doesn't have much on it. And I want to grab that.
My little soda pop, you're all I can think of. Every drop I drink up, you're my soda pop, my little soda pop.
Duck on Head rated your channel with 8 viewers.
Hi, Duck.
Okay.
Welcome in. Thank you for the raid. How are you? How was your stream? What did we do today? So if you don't know me, hi, I'm Shoujo, and I'm your friendly neighborhood Kisune. We do a mix of co-working streams, art streams, and sometimes games.
Wherever you want.
And I welcome you on.
Okay.
I hope you had a good stream.
Brush again.
Hi, Duck. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome in.
Just pull it backwards.
How was your stream?
There. And that creates all those little things that you want in there. Very simply.
Play the mouse game. It's honestly fun. What is that? It's the mouse PI game? Is that what you're talking about? Because that one's pretty popular, right? Thank you, Secret, for the welcome back.
Liner brush with a little bit of...
Felt dizzy, need to lie down. Well, I hope you feel better.
Just a dedication here and there. Just some little foam patterns.
Yeah, I've been seeing it. I've seen it on TikTok, and then I've seen it on Twitch, so I don't know if that's the type of game I would play, but that's just me.
It continues on there.
I'm more of a fighting game girl, and the two shooters that I play are Valorant and Fragpunk, so...
Just show some... Think about being down at the ocean, watching the waves come.
Well, welcome in, everybody. Please hydrate, stretch, take a break. Thankfully, it has beginner mode. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I can get behind that. Some of those games are so hard, so yeah, I can get behind beginner mode.
Big old stone is right there. Right about here.
But I like how, what is it? What is the word? Noir? Is that how you say it? It is. The black and white, the very, like, I guess 30s, 40s look. So, it's really cool looking to me.
Each brush, grab it, pull down. Something like so, and go across. That'll end up being a little reflection in the water when we get all finished. Okay, let's take some white paint. Get some bright red.
Let me see something real quick.
Bright red.
Puppy
I'm using some dirty filbert, I don't care.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Little touch of
Yeah,
red.
oldies, yeah. I definitely like the 40s look a lot. Very
Sort of highlighters.
pinned up, very elegant. I like that look. It's very, very retro for me. So I guess that's as retro as I get.
Just sort of play 'em back and forth.
Because I'm more of a like 80s,
You can
90s,
actually sculpt
early 2000s person, so. But I do like the 40s. I like the style, for sure.
That easy. You can make it right in there. Something
But
like so.
I hope everybody enjoys their time here. We're doing some cozy co-working. I am editing for YouTube, so
Let's just put a
that's
little
what I'm
indication
doing now.
floating
I'll catch you later once I'm feeling better. Of course, feel better. Take a break, drink some water,
right
relax.
here, right here. Here it comes. Here's another little thing that's right out here.
Don't push yourself too hard.
It comes right over there, so who knows? Once again, we grab our fan brush and we just pull that back.
So I'm gonna have the mic off while I'm editing, but please enjoy the Bob Ross and the music. And if you would like to chat, feel free to type in the chat and I will respond.
Take a little
But
bit
we're in focus mode right now.
crimson color, and we can just go back up in here and punch a few little holes in the surf. Just a few little indications. Some little dark areas. Makes it pretty. See there they are. Just a few. That's easier than trying to paint all the foam. It's just to go in there and drop some in. Okay, lost my brush here for a second. Got so many brushes going, I lost one. I'm gonna take a little bit of light blue, thin it down. And I want to put the indication here. Maybe just a little ripple on the surface, a little red sheen. There we go. Something about like that. Just to give a little indication. All right, let's have some fun. Grab a fan brush. We're gonna take a little bit of white. I know, lost it this time. I think maybe we'll have us a little sand dune lives right out here. Maybe it comes down. I don't know. Wherever you want it. But allow it to pick up some of those colors that are underneath. There we go. Just a happy little sand dune. He just stays out here and watches the water all day. Has a good time. Great time. Grab another fan brush. Take some sap green, a little bit of the brown color. I'm just going to mix some colors together on my brush here. Sap green, some of the browns. Let's go up in here. And let's just punch in the bottom. It's going to be the bottom of, let me get a little more color, of some little weeds. Live right in here. There we go. Always got these little things that live there. Okay. Maybe a few little doers in here. Down here. I don't know. Just all we're doing is pushing in some color here. Alright. We'll go back and get our liner brush, put some paint thinner on it. And we're going to begin taking, we can start with a little bit of the green and brown. And I just want to lift these up, make some little sea oaks out here. There we are. See, you just pull that color right on out of there. We'll do some dark color first. We're using green and brown here. Just pull them out. All right. A little more paint thinner. If your paint won't flow, add more paint thinner to it. There we go. And we'll do a little on this one and the next one and whatever. Take your brush, and you can literally grab a little bit of that base color and let it become the shadows. See there? Just let it mix right in there. It's all right. It's all right. That'll become your shadows. That green and brown makes nice little shadows. There. But don't want to kill all those nice colors you picked up from underneath. They become your good friend. Now, put all these little rascals in. All right. Wherever. I'm going to go in now to yellow ochre. And just pop some right over the top of it. Now, when you're at home and you have unlimited time, you can really play with these and put all kinds of gorgeous things. Here, if I go over 30 minutes, I got a mean old director. She has no sense of humor at all. That's okay. We'll just put something in here real quick. And sometimes the little things out here on the end. It's up to you. Now, no little seascape would be complete without a happy little palm tree in it. So we'll just use the fan brush, go into some Van Dyke brown, a little black. Just have a little dark color to make his trunk. And he lives in our world. He lives right there. Let's put a little crook down at the bottom. Old palm trees have a tendency to sort of get men on the end there. Something about like that. And dip the brush into a little bit of paint thinner. Still using brown and black. I want to thin the paint just a little, just a little. And let's put in just some basic ideas here. just sort of hang him out there like that. Here's one behind him. There's a nice little one. Okay, take a little bit of brown and white. Just want to touch this edge just a little. Then I'm going to take a fan brush and grab that and pull it around so it makes the trunk look round. All right. Take a little touch of yellow and green mixed together, and let's just take and highlight these just a little. Just a little. There. Here we go. Something about like that. Shoot, with that, we've got a little palm tree. But I wanted that limb to look like it comes right straight out toward me. You can use a liner brush, make a lot more detail. Okay? I think with that, we'll call this little painting finished. Hope you've enjoyed it. And from all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy painting. And God bless, my friend. Hi, welcome back. Certainly glad to see you today. I thought maybe today we'd just do a fantastic little seascapes. Very easy, and you can do it. Let's start out and run all the colors across the screen there that you need to paint along with us. While they're doing that, let me show you what I've got done. I thought today I'd put the little seascape in an oval. So we have a piece of contact paper here that I just cut an oval out of, stuck it on the canvas. Then I took some black gesso and painted the bottom. The top I painted with gray gesso. And as you can see, I didn't do a very good job, it doesn't matter. Just sort of bring them together. Then I've covered the entire thing with liquid clear. And on the bottom here, I've put a little bit of phthalo blue and phthalo green. Phthalo blue, phthalo green right across here. And right down here, I'll have a little beach if it comes out right. So I'll put a little brown, a little Van Dyke brown right there. Now, Van Dyke brown is not a transparent color. It's semi-transparent, but it's transparent enough for what we're doing here. So let's have some fun today. I'll start out today with a little Indian yellow, just a very small amount. I use the Indian yellow because it's very transparent. So let's go right up in here. And let's just put a little bit of the Indian yellow right up here in the sky. Something about like that. Right over the gray gesso. And we'll come right down to the water. It doesn't matter if a little bit gets on the water. No big deal. No big deal. We don't care. This is just a fun painting, so you ought to enjoy it. About like that. Maybe a little yellow ochre now. Yellow ochre is not quite as transparent. So we'll put it right in here. I thought we'd make a painting that's very bright, very shiny, has a lot of color in it. Something that if you hang it in a room, it'll just brighten the room right up. I like paintings like that. There we go. Okay, all we're doing here is just basically putting a glaze on the canvas. Just a little transparent or semi-transparent color right over the gray gesso. Now then, I'm going to begin working with opaque colors. Now, opaque colors, that just means you can't see through them. White is very opaque. So I'm going to take a little of that and go right in here and just begin blending. Just begin blending. Now that's going to pick up the yellow that's on the canvas and blend right together. But it's going to make a nice little shiny spot there, like that's where our light's coming from. It's exactly what I'm looking for. You play with opaque and transparent color, and you can make all kinds of gorgeous effects. There. Like that. I'm going to take the least little touch of the bright red. Whew. I said least several times because bright red is a very strong color. Be careful with it. Eat up your whole world. But it is gorgeous. And see, the transparency of it allows that gesso to show through, so any little thing that happened there, it comes right out into your world. It's okay, works well. I'm just sort of jumping around from place to place here. Put in a few little things. Like that. I'm gonna make a little lavender color on some lavender. For that, I'm gonna take some phthalo blue and alizarin crimson, proportionately, many times more crimson than blue. Blue is strong, crimson is weak. Now you can't tell what color that is. It just looks black. So you take a little white and put this on and say, do you like that? No, I don't. So I'll change it. I'll put a little more crimson in it. Because this is our world, and we can change it any way we want it. Now, I like that better. It's a little more to the reddish side, and that's what I'm looking for. Because it sort of goes along with what we have up here. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little, I'll just use a little blender brush. A little blue up here. Phthalo blue. Just a very small amount. Very small amount. I'm just going to dance that in right in there. Just a little. There. Add a little white to it, and then it'll sparkle. It'll jump right out at you. But once again, we're working with opaque and transparent color. Create some gorgeous effects that I don't know how to achieve any other way. There. See? And we have a little touch of blue up there. Be careful that it doesn't hit that yellow and turn bright green. Because that'll happen if you're not careful. We just want enough to give it a little bluish hint. Maybe even a little, right in there, I don't know. Just a little. All right, now, going back to that lavender color. world. There's a happy little cloud that floats around and has a good time right here. Just a little cloud. There he comes. Just using the top corner of the 2-inch brush. Top corner only. Now the other side has no paint on it. See, I flip the brush over and I can blend out this cloud with a base of it. Just that easy. There. Maybe there's even a little doer right in there. There we go. Let me just put him in like that. There. All right. We're gonna have all kinds of beautiful little clouds in here. Going back to a little blender brush. This blender brush is so soft, tender. You can go right over all this without blending it all together. There. See there? Just make a happy little cloud there. Now because of the angle of the camera here, it may not look just right until we go back to a camera that's shooting straight on. Sort of doesn't look quite right there. Maybe in our world, let's take a little, I use a little fan brush because it's a little more detailed and I can get in here. I'm gonna put a little cloud right over this. Just a happy little cloud. That easy. Back to our little blender brush, and very lightly, you can go right in here and blend it. See there? Little cloud just lives there and floats around, has a good time. Okay, I think that's basically all we're gonna do for that little sky, because I'm gonna spend more time with the water. All right, as I say, phthalo green and phthalo blue. And we just bring it right up to the horizon there. Oh, about like that, no big deal. However, take the little blender and blend right over it. And it doesn't matter if it picks up a little touch of it, but it brings that horizon right together. There. Okay, better wash that little blender off. We wash it the same way as we wash the other brushes, except it's not near as much fun to beat. All right, you dry it on a paper towel. Now maybe in our world, tell you what, I'll move that over there. I'm gonna get some dark sienna, a little bit of the bright red, and some white. I'll just mix those together. Like that, that's a pretty color. Now part of it, I'm gonna put a lot of white in. I want part of it to be lighter than the other. There, it's sort of a pinkish. Okay, let me wipe the old knife. And we'll grab us a fan brush here. There's one. Get the old fan brush, load it full of color. All right, let's go up in here. Maybe there's a little headland that comes right out here. Take the fan brush and we'll push upward. And I'm starting right into the lightest area with my lightest color that I made right there. Now I'm going into the darker part of the same color. And begin letting that get darker and darker. There, see there? Darker and darker. Both directions. Each time a little darker. And then we just sort of work it together. The darker, darker, darker. That's what we're looking for. Dark, dark, dark. Down here at the base, almost a solid Van Dyke brown where it comes to the water. I want that to be very dark. All right. As I say, this is one of the easiest little seascapes that you can do, and it's very effective. Very, very effective. There. This will make a beautiful gift for friends and neighbors, whoever. And what's so nice, we know that the paintings will be with us long after we're gone. Maybe, for some of us, maybe it's about as close as we can come to immortality. I'm going to the liner brush, put paint thinner on it, and maybe out here in our world, a little darker, so it stands out a little more. Sometimes you have to exaggerate color for television purposes. Maybe there's just a happy little palm tree that lives out here, several of them. Just make the indication of some little palm trees that live. These are too far away now to have much detail. We're just looking for basic little shapes. Basic little shapes. We don't even know where they're at. There. Put some little arms sticking out there on it. There we go. Something like that. See? Just wherever you think they should be. I'm not going to spend a lot of time messing with them. But that'll give you an idea of how to make what looks like a bunch of little palm trees far, far away. There. I live in Florida, so we have a lot of palm trees there. There we go. All right. Oops, didn't get that brush clean. Try again. Now we can get down here into the fun part of this. Let's grab a fan brush. I'm going to go right into a very small amount of the titanium white. We don't need much. Just put some on the bristles. And let's begin figuring out where things are at. Let's have a big old crasher wave in here, and our crasher wave is going to live right about there. It'll come over and go right on off the canvas somewhere to help you. See, there's where it's going to crash. Does that help? Like that. So that just sort of lays it out so you have an idea of where you're going. Sometimes it's hard to take a trip if you don't know where you're going. And we're taking a little exaggerate. I'm doing this, only not near that big. Okay, I'm exaggerating grossly there. But so that you have little wave motions happening back there, far away. And maybe in our world, maybe there's another little wave that lives right here. So you just sort of outline them. It really helps you to see where they live and how you want them to go. Something about like that. But isn't that color gorgeous? That phthalo blue and phthalo green. Whew, I like it. It's dynamite color. Dynamite. Now over on this side, I want it to get very dark in comparison. All right. I have several fan brushes going here, so I don't have to spend all my time washing them. I'm going to grab one and begin pulling that color back. I'm just going back with it. Something like that. See there? And we're more interested in the dark area, believe it or not, than we are the light area. It's the dark area here that's our good friend. See those, how they just begin appearing? Then you come back with a little liner brush and put all the little highlights in there, and that's when it really, really, truly jumps right out at you. All right. Something about like so. Back into my paint, titanium white. This is the fun part. Let's make the wave crash over. Start up here where you think it lives. Grab it and just give a little pull. A tiny little pull. Load a little more color on the brush. You may have to reload the brush several times so this color stays pretty pure. You're picking up a little of that, but you don't want a whole bunch. You want it to be bright. This is going to be your center of interest right here. Right there. Like that. Make those little noises. It helps. Let's grab a little filbert brush. I'm going to take a little white, a little cad yellow, mix them on the filbert. And right here, this is going to be the eye of the wave, or the transparency. Or in technical terms, it's called the pretty part. There. Let me wipe the color off and reload it. So it's nice and pure. But even that makes a beautiful color against that phthalo blue and green. Beautiful color. We just sort of let that wander right on down there. And you can come right in here. Just sort of use the corner of it and begin blending that. You can blend it till it's absolutely as smooth as silk. There we go. Just wind it up. Look at that. See it come there? Little blender brush makes it so much easier. You can do it with a 2-inch brush though. If you don't have a little blender, you can do it with a 2-inch. Just not quite as smooth. Not quite as smooth. And then back to my little filbert. I had a little lavender color, crimson and blue. I want to use that for the shadow color of the foam here. Make these little noises. They really help. Think about the wave just coming up here and turning and crashing. Just having a good time. There. All right. Have it come right on up like that. I'm going to put some rocks there. Just decided I'll put some rocks there, so I'm not too worried about that area. Not too worried about that right now. While we have these old filberts going, bring this right on around. We can begin thinking about foam patterns that are just working right on down the side here. These foam patterns are what give shape to your wave. I find that holding a brush like this rather than like a pencil allows you a little more control. But that's an individual thing. You try it and see. You try it and see. Because everybody is different. Thank goodness. So it makes us all wonderful and special. It would be boring if we were all the same, I'll tell you that. Let me wash that brush and get it nice and clean. Just wipe it on a paper towel, clean it off. I'm going to take just pure titanium white. I'm using pure white because it's going to mix with all these undercolors. And we're going to get all kinds of things. Let's put a little foam right up here. Little splashy doers. Once again, make those little noises. It really, I know people look at you funny, but it puts you in the mood. Makes you feel like you're at the ocean. There. See, there they go. Just crashing and having a good time. And then back to our little blender. Once again, you could use 2-inch brush and it'll work. I did for many years before we got the little blenders. It will work. It's not quite as smooth, but you'll be delighted with the effect that you get. There. Okay. And you're continually picking up that undercolor. We said we was going to have a rock out there, so let's build this rock. Let me take Van Dyke brown and dark sienna mixed together and put some black in it too. I want a dark rock. In fact, I'm going to use a lot of black. I want it really dark. Our rock lives right there. This old filbert brush is great for rocks. You can just drop them in. There, we have a whole big old bunch of rocks there now. We don't even know how many rocks. Take a little of the bright red. I didn't clean the brush. You just leave it on. Dirty color on there. Shape a Rock. I'd make a good song, Shape a Rock. There we go. Wherever we want it. I'm gonna take my liner brush. Get some white, put a little phthalo blue with it. Ooh, that's pretty. I like phthalo blue. Paint thinner. Here and there and there and here. Let's just put the indication of water that's dripping all down these rocks. Now when you have unlimited time at home, play with this. You can literally, it's always fun. It is so much fun to do this. I like to do these little simple seascapes. Sometimes seascapes can get to be a son of a gun. Let me show you here though, it's very simple, and you can do them. You can do these. We need a little area up in here that looks like beach. We'll take a little white. We just use a 2-inch brush. Decide basically where your beach is going to be. Let's say it's right here. Pull straight down. Straight down. There we go. There, something about like that. So it looks like a little dirt up here. A little sea sand. Put a little more white right here. There's our light source. So we put a little additional white right there. And then go across. And instantly, it looks like very wet sand. Good place to take your shoes off and just let your feet run naked through there. That's fun. Alright. Now let's decide where our wave comes. I'm going to take the small knife. I use the small knife for this. Take a little blue. Use a little blue and put in my white, but not much. Just a little. Basically, it comes right about here. See there? I'm pushing very, very hard. You can probably see the knife bending. I guess if you do that over a period of years, you can finally wear the knife out. Push it so hard, but it takes a long time. And we can just go back in here and put in all kinds of little foam patterns. There we are. Something about like that. Okay. Find a little filbert brush. Take a little white. Leave some touch of blue in it. And you can begin working on all these little things, putting in detail. There we are. A little touch more of the blue in it. See there how easy that is? Now, sometimes it's fun to take like phthalo blue and a little phthalo green mixed together, and you can go back in here and punch in holes. I guess that's a good way to call it. Just punch some holes in the surf. Right like that, wherever you think they should live. All right. Let's find our little liner brush here. Oh, there it is. With that, I'll take a little white, paint thinner, touch of the phthalo blue. Just a touch, just want to tone it. And let's go in here and begin putting in all kinds of little things. Once again, when you do yours, take your time and put in a ton of these. They're gorgeous. So it makes your painting work and look good. Maybe there's even a little bit of water right here. See here? Okay. Then you come right in here. You just begin putting in all your little, these are the little goodies that make your painting work. Make it beautiful. There. Begin blending it back. All kinds of little doers. Once again, I know you're tired of hearing this, but these little lines here are what shape your waves, what give form and texture to your waves. Treasure them. They're your good friend. Very good friend. There we are. There, see? Just let him go. Now, I'm going to go into a little bit of cad yellow and white. Back here, I want to brighten this area where as it comes around. Like that. There. So you just have a little sun zinging right through that area. Zoom. Right on down. All right. Tell you what, let's have some fun here. Let's have some fun. I'm going to take black. Bravery test. Palm tree lives. Yep, you're right there. And he's got a friend. Lives right there. Oh, right through all that. Right through all that. Now we take our knife. I'm going to take a little brown and white. And we just put a little edge on this palm tree. Just a little edge. Just touch it. That's all you got to do. Touch. Just touch. There. Okay. Fan brush. Paint thinner. I want to thin this paint. I don't want to thin it as thin as ink, but I want it much thinner so it'll slide easily. And let's come up here. And we'll put some little doers hanging off this tree here. See, just a few little things. There they come. There. Isn't that a simple little way of making a gorgeous little seascape? It really works well. This is one that if you give to friends, they'll be delighted. All right. The other tree, he's naked back here. He needs something too. There. so. Okay, it gives us a basic little palm tree. Very simple one. So I tell you what, let's come up here and take the contact paper off and see what we have. This is the moment of truth. Isn't that fantastic? It's a beautiful way to make a very effective little seascape. I hope you try it. And from all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy painting, and God bless, my friend. Hi, I'm certainly glad to see you today. I thought maybe today we'd just do a fantastic little seascape, a little easy one that you can do. So let's start out and run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with us. While they're doing that, I'll show you what I got up here. Today I have my regular old 18 by 24 inch double prime pre-stretched canvas, and I've taken a piece of contact paper or any adhesive back paper, just cut an oval, stuck it right on the canvas, then I've covered the inside of it with black gesso. We allowed the black gesso to dry completely, and then we came back. I put a little piece of tape right here so I'll have a straight horizon. From here up, I've covered it with liquid clear, very thin coat, and taken phthalo blue and put here. From here down, liquid clear, phthalo blue, and phthalo green. I want the water to have a little green cast to it. So I put a little phthalo green in the bottom. Otherwise, it's just phthalo blue all over. We put the liquid clear on there, though, because it makes that color so much easier to put on, and it's almost like a glaze. I don't want too much. So let's have some fun. We'll start out with a little teeny 2-inch brush and a little bit of titanium white on it. I don't need much, just a small amount. Something about like that. Okay? Now then, we'll go up in here and very gently begin making our little crisscross strokes. Now this is a fantastic painting to do for friends and relatives, and don't tell them you put color up here and they just see you take white paint and start doing this, and all of these gorgeous, gorgeous colors appear, and they'll think it's magic. There we go. Don't tell them any different. That's our secret. Shh. All right. There we go. Just want a little background color. I'm gonna come in here and put in some big old clouds, but I'm looking for a little background color now. That's all. That's all. There we are. So just make little criss strokes like that, and very lightly go over it. Now you can make this as light as you want it, just by adding white. I don't want it to be too light though, because I'm gonna put some clouds that I want to show up. But if you want it lighter, just take a little more of the white. Go right in there, put it in. Okay. Now that I'm gonna clean the brush because I want it to be nice and fresh, and put some more white on it. Shake it off. And then just beat the devil out of it. Now then I'm going back into titanium white. Just gonna tap some into the bristles. It don't matter how you load it. Shoot, any old way you get it on there. Let's go up in here, and maybe our little clouds, maybe they just live. Just taking a corner of the brush and making little circular patterns. See, just take the top corner and make little circular patterns. That's all we're looking for. There. Load a little more color on the brush. And in our world, yep, you're right. There's another little cloud. It lives right there. Work in layers though. Do one cloud at a time. So you got a darker edge here than you do at the top of this one. That's what we're looking for. Now then, let me grab our little blender brush. Very, very soft hair. Very soft. It just caresses the canvas. Very gentle, very gentle. See there? And you can blend right over that. Lift it, fluff it, and you can take it to any degree of brightness that you want. And that's all we need to make a little cloud. I'm gonna blend this little one here. Just blend at the bottom of it. And this blender brush has a round handle, so it's easy to spin around it to make all these little things happen. There. Very lightly. Just barely grazing the canvas. Okay. Now a little more white. I want another cloud in my world. I think, yep, you're right. Here comes one. But we finish those that are behind it first, and then come along and put the ones here in the foreground. There they are. A little more color. Okay, look at that. But you can make clouds with just a big old 2-inch brush and a little blender brush. That's all it takes. Shoot. Or you can do it with a fan brush. It doesn't matter. Whatever. There. Okay, back to my little blender.
And there we go. Yeah, just blend it a little bit. Like that. Something like so. Okay, then we'll fluff it a little. And off we go. There. Okay. And as I say, in your world, you put as many layers of clouds as you want, or as few. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Shoot, maybe we'll put one more right down here at the horizon. There. The only thing that little piece of tape does there, it'll make your horizon nice and straight. Nice and straight. And that's very nice sometimes. There we are. Okay, let me grab my little blender brush. And very soft little brush. I asked him to make this one for me because the other one's sort of a little stiffer for working with a little tough, hard paint. And this allows us to do some things that we couldn't with the other one. There.
Okay, y'all.
Assuming that's gonna have
I
the flower.
am going to call it for today. We got a lot of work done, so I'm
Right.
almost half done editing,
Okay.
which is great.
That easy.
I'm gonna finish editing tonight. This is the first round,
All right.
and then tomorrow I have to
Take a
finish
piece of tape here.
the final round,
See, we have very
and
straight
then
lines.
I have to edit a few other things. But those are really quick,
You just push a little
simple
bit of the color
edits.
right up to the horizon.
And then I gotta prepare for posting on Friday.
Right under the tape. Now
But
this.
thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here. Duck, if you're still here, thank you for the raid once again. Thank you for everybody who hung out. Thank you Raiders for chilling out. And I will see you all on Wednesday. I'm trying to be more consistent again, get back into the groove. So I'm hoping for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday streams. Mondays will be co-working streams, and then Wednesday and Friday should be art streams primarily, and we'll go forward from there. Gotten a lot more confident with my art, so I think I can start showing a little more of the process of art, and not just coloring, but I mean like sketching and stuff like that. So we're gonna start that. And I appreciate you. Remember, Jesus loves you, and so do I. And I will see you all on Wednesday. I want to say it's going to be around the same time because I think I started it around 4, if I'm not mistaken. Around that time today. So it might be 4 or 5 on Wednesday. But yes. And I will see you all next time. Here is the raid message. Raid.
So don't overdo this.
I want to give Sako.
Let it go.
Oh wait, did I not give him a? Let me do some shout outs. They're late, but sorry. I just thought about it.
Walk down here and get right up against the ocean, look at it, watch the dolphins play.
Sorry for late
I
shout
live in Florida,
outs.
and
Let's
spend a
do
lot
some
of time
shout
at
outs
Daytona
real
Beach,
quick.
and there's some of the most gorgeous little dolphins there that play, and the manatees. If you've never seen a manatee, they're one of the neatest little animals. Not little animals now that I think about it, they're huge, but they're the most gentle creature God's ever made, I think.
I think those are the two ones that I needed to
There,
do here.
little white.
And then I wanted to shout out.
There. Okay, we'll wash that old brush.
I wanted to try this actually.
In our world,
I saw this the other day.
there's some water back
And I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but we'll see if you can shout out this way.
We're gonna have a little crasher wave in here where it's gonna live. Put a little white on the filbert. Come right up in here. Now, let's decide. Maybe our little crasher waves way back in the back. And I like to just sort of take the brush and put in a basic little shape here, so I know about where he's gonna be, and I can paint around.
Let's see if it works.
So let's just say he's right there.
Okay.
That's just to give
It
us
does!
a little idea.
I know how to shout out people now. I was watching a stream yesterday and I saw the person do that. And I was like, oh, I want to see if that works. And it does. This is Sako Neko, and she's really cool. She's a great artist, and I've been watching her stream for like 2 years. I just wanted to give her a shout out and appreciation for allowing me to join the stream team Hanami. I am the new member, so hey, I'm very appreciative of her for that. So thank you so much. And let's do the raid message one more time.
Way back in the background there. And we know this
Ah.
one is going to come over
Did I do it?
like that. So we can go ahead
Did I do it? I did do it. Let me copy this raid message. Please copy the raid message if you can. I would appreciate it if you did. We have a Discord.
I want to grab some of that
I can spill it, I
Fan brushes
promise.
I just want to pull some of that back.
If you'd like to
Come
hang
back,
out.
liner brush and put in some little details.
And we have a throne, no pressure, it's
pull
just
some of the color
there.
back on this black canvas. This black gesso is wonderful.
And I will see you all on Wednesday.
Really wonderful.
Have a good night. Stick around for the
Just jumps out
raid.
at you. It's exciting. And already you're beginning to see the little choppiness of the water back there. Isn't that neat? All right, wash your old brush off. Now then, have to start making some big decisions. I'm gonna take some white, put a little touch of the cad yellow in it. Little touch. So we got white and yellow. I'm using number 3 fan brush. You could use the filbert or number 6, whatever. It's up to you. And I'm just gonna roughly, real strong, scrub in some
Here we
color
go.
right there. I want this to be the eye of the
This is Camilla PNG, and she is another cool artist. And I think you enjoy hanging out with her.
Now, going back to my little blender brush, the one that's so soft, and come right up in here, use just the corner of it, and just begin blending that. Blend it, blend it, blend it.
Have a good night.
Make this look as
Bye.
silk. So gorgeous. Just blend it. Notice the hair is hardly turning. It's the handle that you're just going around in circles with. Soft, soft, soft. Right on out to nothing.